Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Monday Sound Stream where we got things and news and stuff. That was a really
So,
weak intro. I had planned a different one in my head, and then I just like flaked on it as soon as I turned it over. Anyways, welcome everybody. We just got Ryan here because Wheels and Cows were at KamehaCon this past weekend, and they're not rested and relaxed and ready to come
they,
back up
they,
again.
they, they're trying to survive the giant monkeys coming about from the con.
Yes.
And I mean, hey, Soundout, if you want to tie in, Wednesday's a Donkey Kong Direct. You should do a monkey video.
I could. I have another Planet of the Apes video ready to throw out for failure, so let's do it. Um,
You don't do monkey. You don't do monkeys for success. You do monkeys for passion.
I do exactly. No, I've completed my NECA classic era Planet of the Apes collection, so I'm like, maybe I should just throw them all. I've been wanting to. I was like, let me do a whole video on them, and I was like, last week I thought about doing it like 3 times. I was like, no, you just did an Apes video. You got to wait at least a week. So it'll be this week. I'll counter program Donkey Kong with Planet of the Apes.
Which series gives you the most views of the current day stuff? Because we know like back in the day is Power Rangers
Okay,
and Toy
so
Story, but
let's
like
actually look at
oh
that. Let's actually look at that. If anyone's curious, because this is something I was just thinking about the other day. So the fact that if you look at the last like month's worth of videos, right? So if we look at the last like month or so of videos, you can see that the comic book videos, they do okay. They do pretty solid numbers, you know. The comic book hauls, the reading recommendations, everything does, pretty solid. Oddball videos like my Conquest of Planet of the Apes video, not so hot, but I knew when I was working on that, I was like, this is such a passion project. I was like, this is such an obscure topic. This isn't gonna perform super well. But then the next video I did was this Blu-ray video, which did 2.7K. The previous Blu-ray video did 1.4K. The Ninja Turtles Ultimates did 2.6K, which is also impressive. But if you go back and look, the things that tend to do well, viewing guides do pretty well. Here's another Blu-ray video at 4.3, whereas like a toy video next to it's like 1.2. But then there's like Omega Prime. So if I can hit like a toy, like when it's brand new, like Omega Prime or the Turtles, does pretty well. I have like a limited window on new stuff. It's got to be new. Like if I were to do wave 2 of those turtles, it's not going to perform nearly as much. Like viewership's going to drop out on it. But in terms of like a Haslab, big thing, especially with one with QC issues that kind of helped that video because people are looking to see QC issues. The viewing guides just do pretty solid, but overall, I'd say the most consistent thing on the channel is Blu-rays. So if you guys just see me pumping out more Blu-ray videos, that's why. Because if you anyone can see these numbers, you can go back and look. Consistently, the Blu-ray videos outperform everything else. So,
how does the One Piece videos do?
so One Piece videos don't do super great, but One Piece shorts do amazing. Which is why you may notice that like my shorts are like 60% One Piece because like all of them do good. I've never had a One Piece short flop. One Piece videos don't do as hot. For example, like this One Piece collection tour short has like I think 10 times the views of the One Piece collection tour video that has details in it. But you can also notice, sometimes, with the shorts, like for example, this Lego Galactus set got like 8.5K, and then Morrigan got like 371. Because
Were
it's
you
like
late? Well, were you late with that video, right?
super late with Morrigan. But the Lego Fantastic Four, new hotness, right? Boom,
Mhm.
like hit it at the right moment. Morrigan, kind of older. Also, Darkstalkers is way less known than Marvel and Lego, so it's just going to be what it is. But the thing was, when I saw the view count on this Lego Galactus set, I was like, oh, cool, I can do Morrigan, because all these things everything equals out. Like if a video hits, and the next video can flop and it'll balance out. But if I have too many
So
flops in a row, then that's a problem.
so
So
When Storm Arena Morgan comes out, that's a right away video.
yes, yeah, it's going to be a right away video for sure. Kaijan Futura said how comic video's been doing. That's as I just said, they do pretty solid. I've noticed the comic book hauls are pretty consistent. They hit around 1K after a couple weeks, which is great. The topic type videos, like the easier to get into manga and comic books, that one was a little bit lower, but it still did really solid. And then the comic book reading guide for Superman did pretty good. The biggest thing with the comic videos, though, and the reason why those are definitely a mainstay on the channel now, is that I got more comments on the Superman video within 24 hours than I did on this Blu-ray video, despite the Blu-ray video getting a ton more views. So like in terms of engagement,
I think it's
um,
definitely
the
also
comic
like you had
videos
to.
definitely do better.
I think it's also you need to keep in mind the community. A comic community is definitely more
Yes.
smaller, for example, and such like that. Same
Also,
with
the comic
Blu-rays.
community is very talkative. Get a lot of
Yeah.
feedback from comic community, where toy community kind of feels like people just leave like a couple words. They're like, I like this. I don't like
Oh,
this. Whereas like the
or
comic
they
community is like, I like your picks, but I would also include these Superman stories on the list. Like that's the kind of
like
stuff that I like about the comic videos
like you
too.
basically either be yeah, simple or 50-page essays on why they dislike
Yes.
one single action figure.
Yep. I found that the comments on the comic book videos in particular are very delightful. I did a lot of great discussions. You know, people are pretty respectful. I mean, only one person told me my X-Men list was trash, so that's pretty good. There's like 50, 60 comments on that video. So you know, and then especially with the manga versus comics video, I got a lot of great discussion. Like nobody gets out of hand in the comic comment sections, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like manga, like yeah, if we're gonna compare manga and versus comic, I feel like the comic is more niche or manga. I think if you, I don't think I'm gonna guess if you do a manga video just solely about manga, it won't do as well because the manga space is pretty filled
Yep.
because manga and anime. The factor of adaptation and all that stuff always kind of neck and neck. There's already people that
And
do.
that space is too dang crowded.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
already a lot of people that do manga videos either due to because of anime or just the mangas themselves
Yep.
and such like that. There's already a bunch of One Piece videos. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna add anything if you make your own One Piece manga video.
And that's why,
For
like, in
example.
terms of long form One Piece videos, the shorts have done really well because, like Logic Blaster said, the shorts and long form videos are controlled by different algorithms. Yeah, the people looking for One Piece stuff tend to seem to click on the shorts more than anything. Whereas when it comes to the long form videos for One Piece, the thing that broke out was the Anime Heroes video because nobody else was talking about 'em.
There will
So
be individual reviews, but never like a big video like that. For example.
exactly. And I also had the really the half clickbait title of the One Piece anime heroes are actually good. Like that'll kick the algorithm into
I
gear.
mean that's very topical with budget when we get to the figure art news. I'll say that now.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, so when it comes to like the shorts, you guys notice that like the shorts are going to be mostly toys because I think that the toy shorts just have done better, like consistently. I find that when it comes to comic books, people who read comic books are cool with 30, 45-minute videos because you know
I
if
mean,
you're
look, I
used to
think because
reading, and long form video kind of fits with that vibe. Versus like sometimes with toys you just want a quick opinion, quick look at something.
I
So
think it helps that comics are written thing. So
yeah.
there's like the only way to really talk about comics is to talk about it. You can't really just show a picture on the frame,
Yep.
like just or something like that.
Let's see. Muteki says, "What about Blu-ray hauls? Blu-ray hauls do very well. When was the last one? Yeah, the last Blu-ray haul did 1.6K, which was a 45-minute video where the headliner was Godzilla, Wicked, and Star Trek. And so that still did pretty well. Mr. Everest, welcome. I will say that consistently, if I were to collect like view counts, the comic hauls do a little bit better than the Blu-ray hauls. And I don't. The reason I do Blu-ray hauls quarterly is just I don't feel like that I buy enough in a month to make them monthly, right? Like, so I feel like 3 months is enough
Comics
time.
comics are a lot more. They come out monthly.
Yeah,
And
there's
such
a
like
lot
that.
more
So they're
comics coming out that I want than Blu-rays. Even though I love Blu-rays, but like the thing is like what we don't want, right? If I did Blu-ray hauls monthly, like for example, if I did one of just June's Blu-rays, it's going to be like half Looney Tunes and like Murder She Wrote and some older movies, and that's it. Like because there wasn't like a big headliner. Which but if I do it quarterly, like I'm going to include like a bunch of headliners. Because I need something for that thumbnail. That's kind of
I think
always the thing.
it's also just there's people when it talks about like haul stuff. People like bigger hauls.
Yeah.
People don't like just and when it comes to toys, comics.
If I have a comic month where I only have like 5 trades, I'm just gonna skip it and put into the next month. Like, it wouldn't be worth it if it's not big enough, right? Need something
People
to talk
really like.
about.
People really like. Yeah, it's and this is, even if you don't talk about it, it's just that kind of like dopamine part of your brain going like, I like seeing big, I like this stuff, all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's
Exactly.
why like toy collections or video game collections videos do well because just people like seeing many stuff that they don't own or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna pull up the comic book playlist and take a look at how we're doing, because comics have been a new thing on the channel in the last like what 6-8 months, really.
Like, how does the Super Sentai showcase? I see Psycho was mentioned.
Oh, Super Sentai Showcase. Super Sentai Showcase. I know I haven't done one in okay, it's been 7 months. I've been slacking. They all
Wow,
do about the same.
wow, it has been that many months. I thought
Yeah.
you did one like not that long ago.
Yeah, I know the
Like
King
I got
Odra one was 7 months ago. The reason why Sentai Showcase hasn't come back yet.
they're more
One,
scripted videos,
yeah,
right?
they're much more scripted. Two, I need space to work on them, and three, I haven't had space to work on them because I've been trying to rearrange my space, and it's been really hard. And we've been having like really inconsistent weather and stuff, and like all kinds of other things going on this year that has made it so it's like, because that that shot I do with like the Sentai toy collection behind me to like do the introduction, I currently can't do that with how things are set up. And so I want to keep the consistency. But the other thing too is that these are like some of the highest productions in terms of time, and as well as they've done, the highest view on one is 3.5K. So it's not like the demand is just like burning for them, but they do well when I put them out. It's just
Assuming,
it just
I'm
depends.
I'm assuming at least with Sentai Show, yeah, at least I have a bucket list of ideas at the very least.
Yes,
Because
I have enough ideas for like 10 more episodes. It's just a matter of like putting them together, which is tricky because I got to make sure I research it, line it up, write it out, script it. Like it can be, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for sure.
One question about Sentai Showcase. You're gonna do more in the future. Is Power Rangers under that? Like, if even would that Power Ranger stuff be under Super Sentai Showcase? Because
Yes,
if you want to do a topic, either comparisons or maybe Power Ranger exclusive items and all that stuff. Like, I'm assuming it will be under the same topic no matter what.
it would be under the same topic because I think one of my ideas that's sitting in the list is like, Power Rangers exclusive mecha or Sentai exclusive mecha. Like what's what kind of like some comparison stuff. And then also just in general, like yeah, if there was a Power Rangers topic I'd want to do, I'd slip it into Sentai Showcase because based on my experience of the couple of Power Rangers videos I made in the last year, algorithmically, the algorithm does not want Power Rangers videos.
Yeah, there's nothing going on with the
There's
brand,
nothing
so that's
going on,
surprise.
so there's nothing to cause the algorithm to pick up and go, oh, we got stuff to do. So and also I kind of feel like I did so many years of Power Rangers videos, I don't really have anything else to say until there's something new to
Also,
talk about.
I mean, and I know people don't like this topic saying this, but like,
Yeah,
let's face it. Like, if you're talking about Sentai, you're still talking about Power Rangers, no matter what. I know some
yeah.
people don't like that, but
It's like
that's
when
the,
it's like
that's
people
the
are
truth.
like, I'm not talking about Voltron, I'm talking about Hyakuju Gao Lion or
Go
Go
like,
Lion.
go
It's like no, you're
like.
talking about the same thing. Um, but yeah, in terms of the comic book hauls, if we're looking at them, I think the comic book hauls are like the consistently best performing comic book videos. And we're just going to keep kind of grinding away at some other types of videos, see how they do. So if you guys like comic videos, at least click on them and watch them. The highest performing comic book video is the GI Joe Compendium hardcover set, because I was like
Saying
one of the
is,
first people to get it.
what I'm saying is, when the Transformer one comes out, you're gonna do a video about
Yes,
it.
I absolutely will. I've already got Hellfire on tap. He said he's going to send me pictures of the Autobot set for the video.
I was,
So,
yeah, it's a good chance that if you buy something expensive, even if it
yes.
doesn't make the money back, you're gonna do a video on it.
Except maybe not the Rattler. Because G.I. Joe videos have done that poorly.
Maybe we at least do a short you unboxing it.
I think I might do a short. I don't know if I can film me unboxing it because it depends on how big the box is.
Will you do a video
So
unboxing the Digimon Time Changers Collector Edition?
yeah, totally. Digimon
Did
videos
you?
always do well. That's another thing
I
too.
mean,
I can't do Digimon videos all the time because I have to do Digimon videos in the collectible space because there's plenty of other people who do Digimon of like the media and stuff, but I do Blu-rays and collectibles for Digimon. They do well. Even if they flop out the gate, they just like take off. Like my Anjumon video, I thought was a complete flop. I looked at it like 3 months later and it had like, it had like, I think like, I don't know, it's at like something like I'm gonna go look it up right now, actually, because I'm really curious. It took off
Also,
when I wasn't
also
looking at it.
like the monks. You do Digimon out of passion, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. I do it out of passion, but like anytime I do a Digimon video, it pops out and it's just like, oh hey, here it got 300. Like the Anjumon video got 300 views the first week. It now has 8.1k views. So,
Digimon fans are small, but we're vocal, damn it.
exactly. I think it just takes a minute for people to find my videos because I don't do Digimon all the time because they don't put merch out all the time. I'm not going to review the color edition D3 because of the copyright stuff. And also, it would to do it the way I want to do it, I'd have to finish the game, and I haven't even finished my Digivice color.
It's a video game. It's
Yeah.
It's a video game practically.
Exactly. Muteki's asking if I'm okay with Digimon being stuck at 30 FPS on PS5. Yeah, because it's a turn-based RPG. I don't care. If it was a shooter or a fighting game, I'd be like, oh, maybe that's a problem. But it's a turn-based RPG. It's fine.
I think by weird. It's like, how come it's so weird? Even like PS5. Like, why
I have no idea
like...
why it doesn't have 60 frames per second, but it's not going to bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's just in fighting games and shooters I need and racing games. Those three I need the frame rate, possible, but yeah. My downward spiral says definitely check out the Superman video. I've only been recently getting comics. Ryan said it was good, so that's a good marker because I'm of course going to say my video is good because I made it, but
Fellow Superman fan, I like it.
yeah. I definitely Mr. Jiggy doesn't have time hits. I can't do 30 FPS at this time. It doesn't, because it's using the story system.
It's a turn based.
It's your Pokemon system. You just press a button and the things happen. But yeah, no. So, anyways, that's the channel updates for the week. We kind of got a little bit more in depth in the weeds, but the thing I've been noticing though, Blu-ray videos are probably gonna. If I was gonna say something's the main topic on the channel, it's Blu-rays, because they just do very well. And it seems like as long as the topic's interesting enough, people show up for it. So I'm going to keep doing it. And then I guess number 2 is the viewing guides in terms of viewership, just not in terms of frequency. And then number 3 is toys, and then 4 comics.
What's the next viewing guide you have in mind, at least?
I'm going to do 2 in July. That's why there's no viewing guides this month because I'm going to do 2 in July. We're doing a Fantastic Four and a Superman one.
So. Oh, that's gonna be the fantastic. That's gonna be the quickest. Oh, Toma.
Yes.
Super chat. Hello, Sana and everyone. Chat. Welcome, Toma.
Hello, Toma. Also, thank you for being a member for 19 months. I really appreciate that. That's just incredible. Everyone give a cheer to Toma for being a member for 19 months. Like that is awesome. I love that. Yeah, so it's going to be the Fantastic Four viewing guide is going to be very short because it's 4 movies and 3 cartoons.
Does that include Barney and Fred Meets the Thing?
Barney and Fred Meets the Thing will be in it. It will be well. Maybe actually no. I said 3 cartoons. There's actually 4 because there's Barney and Fred Meets the Thing. There's the Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four. There's the new Fantastic Four from Hanna-Barbera. There's the '90s cartoon. And then there's World's Greatest Heroes. So it's 5 shows. 5 shows.
Are you gonna mention any other appearances? I think with the Fantastic Four, we're working with crumbs here. So are you gonna mention like any cameo appearances for other shows?
Yeah, I'll mention the Earth's Mightiest Hero episodes and stuff.
Superhero Squad and all that stuff. Because we're working with crumbs here.
Working with crumbs. That's the only reason I'm going to be able to do Superman and Fantastic Four viewing guides in the same month. Because
are you gonna do the Superman one? Because you had the whole DCAU.
So that's the fun part, right? So it'll be because I thought, I could do a DCAU viewing guide. But I was like, no, Watchtower Database exists to do that. I thought instead it's going to be like Superman focused, where it's going to be like this is in the DCAU, but Superman appears in this episode of Batman. He's going to be in Justice League. He's a main character, and then he shows up in these episodes of Batman Beyond. So it'll be kind of like how I did like the Sentai guide, where I'd mention where the characters reappeared.
Superman's in this season episode of the Batman. These episodes of Brave and the Bold, and all that stuff.
Exactly. Mutegi says Fantastic Four was on Arrested Development. Okay, so I'm leaving out sitcom appearances because otherwise that means my X-Men guide was missing the Abbott Elementary episode where Principal Ava dressed up as Storm. So we just have to leave out sitcom appearances from here on, just for consistency.
That counts. That also counts the Stan Lee cameos everywhere.
Exactly. Master Ben, the pink thing back there, that's Chopper's hat. He's just like peeking up. he's like hiding behind Cheeton, who's hiding behind a pillow.
And there's Jordy Bear.
Jordy Bear. My favorite Mission Chicago souvenir. K-Master says I'm going to do a Superman and Jurassic World watch guide. So I'm going to do Superman like I just mentioned. I'm going to do Superman Fantastic Four. I'm not going to do Jurassic. Main reason, that's a straightforward series. You just watch the movies in order. There's the TV show to intersect with it. But, A, I haven't watched that show. B, if you care enough, you can figure it out.
That show's actually pretty good for like years. Those are pretty grim, apparently.
I've heard that show has had kids being eaten by dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Which is
great.
I love it. I just haven't watched it. I tried to watch the Fast and the Furious cartoon on Netflix, and I kind of tapped out after one season.
that show is very Spy Kids coded. I've ever seen.
Very Spy. It actually reminded me of Hot Wheels. Like there was a Hot Wheels movie that was like secret agents.
Yeah.
that was what the Fast and Furious show reminded me of.
It's like, oh, it's
Spaceballs viewing guide. I would actually, you know what? I'm gonna write it down, and just expect the Spaceballs viewing guide to not be an honest viewing guide. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you that. You know how Weird Al's biopic was a parody of biopics?
The Mel Brooks vibe, but like, well, we're gonna mention it, but like, don't mention the anime series, like.
Yes, no, I've just come up with like 6 different gags in my head that can work with this. So, anyways, that'll be in 2 years though, so I got time to work on it. SSJ4 Jason, Universal Century Viewing Guide. Yeah, the Gundam Viewing Guide's the topic I've been avoiding. Oh yeah, I should call it Spaceballs Viewing Guide. Thank you, Kaiju. I'll write that down. So the Gundam Viewing Guide is hard.
Spaceballs the Viewing Guide.
God, I just thought of the worst thing. Spaceballs the Viewing Guide, member exclusive video, because the sequel to Spaceballs would be Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, especially with G-Clux.
Yeah, I was about to say, before G-Clux, I was like, this is a daunting task. Now that G-Clux exists, this is an impossible task. I have to wait till G-Clux ends before I can even...
Yep.
I had an outline of how I wanted to do a Gundam viewing guide, and I think I got to the which episode Lala showed up in, and then I just threw it in the trash. I was like, never mind.
Now multiverse is this now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to like rethink the entire Gundam viewing guide will happen one day. It will happen one day.
When that movie finally comes out.
Maybe. I think that's a good way for me to put it off forever. No, it would be at minimum 2 videos, if not 3. Break out the whiteboard again. I could. I really probably need to for the Gundam one. It's something I definitely want to do, but it's like I'm not in a rush to do it.
Please, if you're gonna do the whiteboard thing with Gundam, please make the center of it Haro, because Haro's isn't every multiverse.
That actually would make a lot of sense. James wants to, if you do an anime viewing guide like for any other anime property, if Netflix One Piece season 2 comes out anytime, I'd do a One Piece guide.
How would that work?
I have figured because I sometimes go on these like crazy little rabbit holes. I figured out where all the movies and specials take place in the continuity of the series.
We also include like any like light novel or manga like side material in that.
I could really make it like a multimedia guide and be like, you should read the Law Light novel after this part. You should read the Ace novel after this part. And like, you know, I could do something like that.
Where does Food Wars Sanji fit in?
Food Wars Sanji fits in after Wano, because the last chapter of Food Wars Sanji is like a take on Wano.
Okay.
That's the kind of logic I went through. It's not to say any of this stuff is canon. Like, didn't I do a Dragon Ball guide? Yeah, I did do a Dragon Ball guide where I tried to fit. I was like, this isn't canon, but if you wanted to watch it, you could watch it here. Like, that's what I would do with One Piece. But I would go differently with One Piece. I would just go arc by arc and be like, after Syrup Village, you can watch the first theatrical movie, and then after this, you can watch this, and that'd be kind of the thing.
I forget One Piece isn't aren't the film blank color the film blanks semi-canon? Right?
Semi-canon. The only ones that I've seen that fit is Gold. But that one,
red canon?
Red
or is it like
Red would have been canon except Big Mom's in it.
Is it one of those like it's not canon, but what's Uta is canon, right? Is that
Uta's canon? Yeah, I think Uta's canon. One of the issues, because the issue with Film Red is that Big Mom's alive in it, which shouldn't be possible because they split up, and some of the crew goes to Whole Cake Island, some of the crew goes to Wano, but all of them are together, and Jinbei's part of the crew in Film Red, which means it has to take place after Wano, because after Wano would be Jinbei joins during Wano. It had to be after Wano. But then by that point, Big Mom's dead, and Law leaves and goes off and has his fight with Blackbeard. So Law and Beppo and Big Mom all being in that movie means it doesn't fit anywhere. So they didn't know it at the time because Wano was still going on when they did that movie.
Sakatsu goes, this team was making this, and
Yep.
Oda and crew were making this.
Oda hadn't
Psycho
finished
is not-
Wano yet when they made that movie.
Psycho's Doctor Who viewing guide. Sal needs to see the classic stuff first.
Yeah, I'm kind of running into that issue because like my mom and I we had to pirate Unearthly Child because it's not available on streaming, which is the first arc of the show, and it's because of a legal issue. So we had to get that. So I got that, and I'm like, cool. Now I can watch the first 4 episodes. But then the next episodes after there's the Daleks, which we can watch, which is fine. But then the next episode after that, missing. So, hi Jessica Zarati, what's your question? But yeah, I think with Doctor Who it would be messy but doable.
Mateki mentioned the DBZ and Torio crossover One Piece.
So I actually would include that because they are numbered episodes of One Piece.
God, I watched that. I watched that when it came out and done with friends, and we were so frustrated because the woman did nothing.
Yep.
In that one.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, yeah, because with Dragon Ball, I didn't include it, but with One Piece, it's numbered episodes, so we had to include the Toriko episodes. So, Spendesh says the DVD at the beginning has a reconstruction summary of missing episodes. Yeah, I mean, the problem I have with Doctor Who, which is not like anybody's fault at the BBC, is the Blu-ray sets are all done out of order, and I kind of want to watch everything in order. And so there's no season 1 Blu-ray set. There's a season 2 Blu-ray set. But
it's good old Epic Collection style.
It's good old Epic Collections. If Marvel was somehow missing 94 of their episodes, that's the problem. Is that they're missing episodes, and so it's like they clearly want to make sure that if they're going to animate any episodes, they do it before they do the Blu-ray set.
So that Marvel and DC have able to archive all their comics.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mr. Everest says, I'm watching Doctor Who Classic and Internet Archive. They don't have all 26 seasons on the thing. I'm watching Classic Doctor Who. They don't have season 26. Try Tubi, because I think Tubi has everything that's... from last I checked, Tubi has everything that's available, except for Unearthly Child and the most recent animated recreations. But some of the recreations are there. Like, some of the animated segments are there, so... That's probably the place to go. Also, my mom and I are, like, really opposed to ads, so we don't really want to watch on Tubi, even though it's free. Because it's just, like, we get tired of ads. Yeah. Let's see. Kaijin 54, we consider doing reading guides for comics? Maybe. That's going to be one of those things that I would do. Like, I kind of did that with the Guardians of the Galaxy video.
I did really love that Guardians video a lot.
I like broad overview reading guides. I don't really like doing like and you have this issue to this issue to this issue. But you know, there's a lot of people that do great reading guides. There are a ton of research, a ton of work. Guardians was easy because I just had it all in front of me. But
you're that passionate about Guardians.
Also, I've read it all. That was another thing too. Is I've read all that Guardians where it's like I can't do an X-Men reading guide. I've not read like 70% of it.
You need to do like small characters, pretty much.
Yeah, smaller characters work for me. Like you might see a Ghost Rider video for me.
Yeah, I especially we have it.
Yeah, it's just because I'm waiting. Because you know, I know if I make a Ghost Rider video right now, it's just going out today.
Did Tokon come faster?
I'm hoping Tokon like makes it happen. We'll see. Psycho said Bandai and Hasbro buying guide. No.
Save your wallet. Save your wallets.
Save your wallet. Let's see. Mr. Jiggy said the real nightmare will be the classic collections get to Patrick Trott, and I think a lot of folks may not want to rebuy the animations they already own individually. Yeah, that's going to be a complication. But then there's going to be people like me that didn't buy the animations that'll be like, yeah, let me buy it. Complete set. Yeah.
That's so me with certain figure reviews going, I'm not going to buy that. Me. Ooh, I can buy the figure now.
Blade Raider. Can't do X-Men, but could you do a Storm reading guide? Not a bad idea. I'm going to put that down.
Maybe that's better. Instead of doing like teens, because teens are a headache, but maybe individual characters is better, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna put down Storm. Yeah, Universal Monsters viewing guide. Hadn't considered that because Month of Monsters hurt me. But
first viewing guide to get 0 views.
Yeah, I mean it might do well, like because Dark Universe exists now, right? We have a whole theme park.
I mean, you have your last chance. It's the Frankenstein de Toro movie. I think it's your last chance.
That and then it's oh god, then Yeah, I'll think about that one because that may be. I'll put it down. I put it down, but I'm gonna maybe complicated because I just realized it's like, okay, well, if we do Universal monsters, how do we stretch the definition of Universal, right? Because like Del Toro Frankenstein's based on the book. Do we do all adaptations of Frankenstein?
That's a rabbit hole. That's a whole rabbit hole right
That's
there.
it's its own viewing guide. It's just Frankenstein adaptations. All right. Just this question was, what is your favorite part in the Digimon movie uncut? My favorite part in the uncut version is because it's a scene I really liked from our war game. It's the they went and fixed like the way that the jokes work when it comes to like the price of chocolate and stuff. And it's just the jokes work better now because they're like allowed to like they just I don't know, that whole segment like worked better I thought in the new dub. Um
I think for me, it's I mean, for me, it's people actually giving Hurricane Touchdown a chance now.
yeah. No, definitely.
But that and like the dub version of the Amimon scene is like a kick ass moment, but like to me, like the Japanese with
The angelic
the
choir.
music choir, it's
Yeah.
such like a awe-inspiring scene. But like I'm glad they kept the Omnimon like shout main cry.
Mm,
Like I'm glad they kept the voice dialogue 'cause I think it adds to it honestly. Like being silent work, but adding the voice like the booming voice adds a lot to the scene also.
I agree. And I've never seen Detective Conan, but I know of it. All right, moving on. K-Master, thoughts on Paramount saying if they're not interested in a TF1 sequel? I know people were talking about that like that was news, but I thought we knew that months ago.
It's the sad truth, but
Yeah.
it hurts to hear.
When it comes to movies, if you don't get that sequel announcement within like the first 3-4 months, it's not coming because even if they don't end up making a second movie, if they're confident in something's success, they'll greenlight a sequel. Like we got Cruella 2 was greenlit like a week after it came out, and we've never seen anything on it again. But they were like, "Oh, look, we're confident we're gonna make a sequel." Like when Transformers 1 didn't get an announcement, like after the reviews came out, I was like, and then the box office, and I was like, "Nope, we're not getting a sequel." Which is sad. Spin Dash has a good idea. Epic Universe prep guide for movies and games that would be relevant to know in advance to going to the park. I like the idea, but because of how theme park related videos do on the channel, I don't want to commit the time to it.
Theme park videos, you have to be like
You have to be theme parks or nothing.
yeah.
Like every
Like,
theme park channel I know only does theme parks. Some people can cross over like Random Land does theme parks and travel, but it's still like in the travel
or
vlog space.
or Defunctland.
Yeah, Defunct Land, but it's all live entertainment, live attractions kind of thing. And then Defunct T, because if you look at Defunct Land, every video of his is a massive success. But if you were to rank the ratings, Defunct TV does not do as well as Defunct Land, like not even close. So it's tricky. It's tricky spaces. Pokemon viewing guide. I'm not going to do a Pokemon viewing guide, but I have had this idea of doing a Pokemon home video history just for the fun of I'm not personally invested in it, so the chaos won't break me. I think it's just funny.
I see. Is that Turtles DVD? This history still coming?
Yes, it's still
I
coming.
I have a thumbnail ready. Idea ready. I want to draw a thumbnail for that, but like
I'm trying to decide if it's going to get split up or not. Because like
I think
the '87 show is such a mess.
I think it's better to do one video because I think
it's either I do 87 and then everything else in another video, or I just do one video, but I have to wait till whatever Arrow Video does. And I'm okay waiting. I can wait till Arrow Video does their thing. We did get an announcement that the Ninja Turtles 1990 movie is returning to theaters in August.
That's nice.
And it supposedly is the 4K. Supposedly.
I think it is better to make it one video because I feel like if you do it, because I feel like 2-part videos don't do as well.
They don't.
Topic like
unless it's like the Blu-ray, like Blu-ray heads to unusual cases to another type of unless it's like a sequence where it's like standalone, but like if it's just like go watch this part 1, like they don't do as well. So
yeah,
but it's just the question of how chaotic is it going to get? But I think it's like it. But I got to wait on Arrow Video at this point because now the '87 Ninja Turtles ended up on Tubi in a completely new order. So I can add that to the video now. Last comment before we move on to the news. Kaiji94 said he'd been reading current Ultimate Marvel comics. Yes, I'm reading all of them. In terms of best to worst, it's Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Black Panther, and then Ultimate Wolverine. Did I forget one? That was all of them, right? There's 5.
Well, I mean, there's the Ultimate Spider, the Miles book.
Oh,
but
the
that's,
Incursion. I can't rank that. You only had one issue.
Yeah, so that's kind of unfair to rank. Yeah, because only one
Yep.
issue.
Blader just says something there are no good physical releases of DBZ. It has nothing on TMNT. That's true. Because there actually are good physical releases for Dragon Ball. There are no good physical releases for Turtles as of yet. There's something missing in every single one of them.
Yep.
All right, let's run down our text chat because I think we should get onto the news.
Is there missing or just one bad thing about it? Like I used to say like the 10 tree complete set is pretty alright, but that Turtles Forever.
Turtles Forever, the burned in side, the burned in letterboxing with the bars on the sides.
That I could take, because at least it's still watchable. That is still watchable. Turtles Forever is Ghost City.
Yep. Yeah, those are. Yeah. Even Next Mutation's the best release of Ninja Turtles on home video.
But it's
missing the theme song. So
yeah, well, in the episodes because for some reason the music videos too in the
they somehow squeezed the music video in. Yeah.
Weird. Anyways, welcome Zeltrax, Master Band, Muteki, MJ Klein, Sentai Ranger Donnie, Dark Barcode Warrior, Logic Blaster, Sentai Ranger Donnie, JB's World, Blight Raider, Logic Blaster, Jeremy Carr, Toma, Spin Dash, My Downward Spiral, Kaiju 1954, Mr. Tanuki, Mr. Elverse, Cyclos.
I got Benjamin Wiseman, K Master 653, and Beast Slayer. Welcome everybody.
I think that's K Master. We say K Master. I don't think we say him.
Yeah.
K Master
LPH.
653. Just because Zartsky. I think that's everybody. If we didn't say your name, holler in the chat.
Yeah. And let's get on to the news. All right, so first up, Blu-Rays. There's only like one piece of Blu-ray news this week that I thought was worth talking about. Criterion September slate. That was funny. I ended up binge watching a bunch of Criterion Closet videos last week.
Closet videos?
Yeah, so basically Criterion has this thing where they invite like an actor or filmmaker or someone into the Criterion Closet, which has all their movies like in a closet, and they just like pick out movies they like and talk about why they like them.
That's nice.
It's great. I watched the Diego Luna one and then ended up kind of like rabbit holing on a bunch of them. I think the funniest part about it is I was watching like, it was like Diego Luna or Ben Affleck or some of the others, and they would just pull these movies I never heard of. Like Seth Meyers pulled up a bunch of like art films from the 70s. And then I was watching Bowen Yang's, and Bowen Yang was like, I'm going to take the Godzilla set and I'm going to take this musical. And I was just like, I vibed with Bowen Yang's picks over anybody else's. Fun times.
The more skier the people get, the more fun they are.
Yeah, and it was funny though. The funniest part about the Godzilla set with him is that he like picked all these movies out, and then he's like, and then I'm taking this, and he pulled the big ass Godzilla book up into frame. Those videos are great. Anyways, Criterion. So for our September releases, we got the French Dispatch of the Liberty, which is I think also includes Kansas Evening Sun, Wes Anderson movies, because the Wes Anderson archive's coming out. Some of the Wes Anderson movies, French Dispatch and Isle of Dogs, which are in 4K for the first time in that collection, are also getting single 4Ks. So
I don't ever seen a Wes Anderson movie. I always know about how good his films are.
I've only seen his animated movies, Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs,
which are really good. I heard like the Isle of Dogs. I heard it's fantastic. Wait, does ever got I know he's a good director. Just never seen more of his stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know I need to see like Grand Budapest Hotel because I've heard so many good things about that. We also got Read My Lips and The Beat That My Heart Skipped, both by Jacques Audrad. The big news for animation fans is Academy Award-winning Best Animated Picture 2025, Flow, is getting its 4K released through Criterion, and it's going to include not only Flow but the 2019 film Away, done by the same director.
Nice.
So there's going to be a 4K disc with Flow and Away, and then 2 Blu-rays with Flow, Away, and the bonus features. So you get like new audio commentaries, full-length feature animatic, interviews, behind-the-scenes documentary stuff, all kinds of cool stuff, which is great to see.
So. About the Oscars, I'm really happy a indie, quote-unquote, indie animation won Best Animated Feature.
I was really happy. And it was one of those things where I was like, I watched Flow. after it won, and I was like, this was really good, and this deserved the Oscar. I won't say it was
Yeah,
my
it's
favorite
like
anime movie of last year, but I think it deserved the Oscar because it's so innovative and
yeah, it
everything.
makes me want to go watch. I haven't seen it, but because I never heard about it, but now I'm like, I want to go watch it because it's
Yeah,
always have because stuff like that gives indie films a big hit, big major win, and such like that.
definitely, and especially because it's also it was also up for best foreign film too because it's from Latvia. I think Latvia is where the director's from. So yeah, no, it's a great movie. I really liked it. It was really cool. This is Spinal Tap's getting a 4K, which is funny because I was just reading. I was going through the movies for the year. I was making plans with my family. I'm like, all right, what movies are we watching this year in theaters? The answer is like we're going to be on a streak soon. By the way, with movies, we got Elio, Megan, Jurassic World. Take a week off. No, the next week Superman. Take a week off. Fantastic Four, Bad Guys 2, and Naked Gun come out the same week. So we're doing a double feature, and then the week after is Freakier Friday, and the week after that is the Ninja Turtles re-release. So I'm gonna be going to the movies like every week for like a month and a half.
Can't wait for the weekly movie reviews from
Yeah,
the streams now.
you're
I
gonna be
guess.
getting weekly movie reviews on the streams. I'm very excited. And it's funny because there's nothing in September except for no, there's 2 movies in September. There's nothing in October. There's like no movies in October for us. But it's funny in September.
Well, that depends if Frankenstein did get a little like
Yeah,
mini
theatrical. Yeah,
theatrical release.
and then also the other thing is too is like I'm not sure about Mortal Kombat 2. Like I don't know if I'm gonna go out and see it.
Oh yeah, right. That
Yeah.
film's coming
Yeah,
out
Blade
this
Raider.
year.
They're doing a 1990 Ninja Turtles re-release for the 30th anniversary, August 17th and 20th. I think it's just 2 nights.
I'm surprised. Like
It's
I know we got
supposedly the 4K, but I haven't gotten confirmation of that.
I know with Mortal Kombat we got like images. Like I think we got like an image of Shao Kahn, but like I totally forgot that movie was coming out because there's like been nothing.
Yep, we're supposedly
Yeah.
getting the trailer in July though. So,
Okay.
um, anyways, lots of movies coming up. But then September is weird because basically I'm going to 2 movies the same weekend, but like one I'm going with my parents, and one I'm going with my friend. Because Demon Slayer and Infinity
Oh
Castle
yeah.
and Downton
Mhm.
Abbey Grand Finale come out the same weekend. And so it's like I'm going with my friend for Demon Slayer because he's a big Demon Slayer fan. I'm kind of catching up on the show. Now I have a deadline, so I need to catch up on it sooner. And then I'm going with my mom and my dad for Downton Abbey because my mom loves Downton Abbey. And I've never seen the Downton Abbey show in full. I've only seen the movies, but like this is the 3rd movie, so I'm familiar with everything at this point. So, anyways, expect that fun dichotomy of a movie review middle of September. All right. So, anyways, this is Spinal Tap. Mr. Dookie. Okay, so slight Mortal Kombat thing. Mr. Dookie said if Mortal Kombat 2 pulls a Hellboy 2 and drops the boring OC protagonist, they're set. Yeah, apparently Louis Tan is not in Mortal Kombat 2, so I think we're good to go.
Because I didn't give a crap ass about
Nobody
Cole.
did. Nobody did.
Because he would just discount Johnny Cage and his
Yep.
powers were stupid.
All right, this is Spinal Tap's getting a 4K right ahead of Spinal Tap 2 existing. That was kind of the weird news I discovered when looking through movies. Like, there's a Spinal Tap 2. We're doing this. So, anyways,
Is Smile Tattoo to search for more money?
maybe. It's funny because it's also a mockumentary type movie, but I think it's funny. It's like you always look to see when stuff gets re-released. Also, Born in Flames by Lizzie Borden and High and Low by Akira Kurosawa are also rounding out September. It's a pretty solid lineup of movies. Pretty good. Yeah, no, it's funny looking at movies. Like, I'm like, they're making a new Running Man, and I'm like, I need to see the trailer. But the cast is amazing, and Edgar Wright's directing, so I'm kind of like, maybe this could be great.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I look at the calendar for movies, and it's like, oh, we're doing a new Running Man, and it's gonna have like, I think like Katie O'Brien's in it, and Glenn Powell's in it, and like Edgar Wright's directing it, and I'm like, maybe this is gonna be great. But we have to we haven't seen any marketing yet because it's not time. I think it's coming out in October. I think it might be my 1 October movie, if it looks good. So, Muteki says it's more based on the book. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. All right. Entertainment news. I have a bunch of like ups and downs on the entertainment news, so I structured them so that way we can have a roller coaster together, guys. It'll be fun. So we've got Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has been renewed for a 5th season. Hooray! The final season's only going to be 6 episodes. Aww.
How long are Strange New World episodes?
About an hour each. We usually get 10 episodes a season.
So it's not so it's longer than a movie, but still, like that's a that's a a mini
It's a
event.
miniseries.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a 2-hour finale just to make it up for it.
I mean, well, it's sad to change the world. I mean, like,
I'm
what's
not
season we're on
surprised
now?
it's ending after 5 seasons. I am surprised they're truncating the season to 6 episodes.
Here's
And
the thing.
apparently filming it later this year.
I mean, it's a miracle shows get beyond 3
Yeah.
nowadays. So like, it's kind of nice that
It'll at least be the first Trek show to have a planned finale since Picard.
yeah.
So
I still hurt from Prodigy.
still hurt from Prodigy, still hurt from Discovery, because like Discovery's ending was great, but they it wasn't supposed to be the end. They got to film an epilogue, but the epilogue only ended up focusing on Burnham and Book because they weren't given any more than like 20 minutes. So they weren't given any extra time. They wanted an extra episode to do a proper finale, but then Paramount was like, you get 20 minutes. And so they had to focus on Burnham and Book. So we don't really know what happened to any of the other characters. So that's why I was like, it hurts a little bit. Also because they filmed season 5 and then got told it was canceled. This time they know going in, so it'll have a much more complete ending. Blade Runner Sky Showtime is the network that airs Strange New Worlds in Europe. So that's just confirming season 3 is coming out later than it comes out in the US. So we're doing this again instead of syncing it up, even though it's possible because all you got to do is press a button. Anyways, global availability rant aside.
Yeah, I gotta love we live in we're still getting Power Rangers leak episodes to this day.
Yep. Okay, so I mean, I don't really have any thoughts beyond that. Someone suggested it could be like Game of Thrones' last season, where all the episodes are like an hour and a half each, and I wouldn't be opposed to that. That could be fun.
What? I mean, it's nice to see a modern attraction that lasts long at least.
Yeah, because Discovery was 5, Lower Decks was 5, this is 5. Prodigy technically is 4 because it had 40 episodes. So
yeah, it's the whole they did the whole like split season thing.
Yeah, because it was like it's 2 seasons officially, but it could be technically 4 seasons compared to the other Trek shows. And then Picard was only 3, but it was always planned to be 3. So
do they does Prodigy have like mid-season finales at the very least?
it does. There was that they always would have like episodes 9 and 10 of each season were a 2-parter.
Okay.
So you could break it up into 4 seasons by technicality, and it still would flow.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah, because like the first, both seasons were structured like that, where like the first 10 episodes are like an arc, and then the second 10 episodes are an arc. So they got 40 episodes. Strange New Worlds will have 46 in total. So, anyways, better news. We got a new Superman trailer, which is officially called the how do I get this person's name out here? The Tickets on Sale Now trailer. Which is also the final trailer. Can we stop getting the bio the writer? There we go. This was my favorite trailer yet.
Well, because it felt like we finally get at least know a little bit of the story of the movie. Because I think that was the problem with the other trailers is it was just Superman.
It was vibes.
Superman. Yeah.
Which are great. My other problem with the other trailers too is that everybody kept talking about Superman, and I was like, but I want to hear from Superman. You know? And it's not just that, the last trailer we had his big speech where he was getting interviewed by Lois, and then you don't hear Superman talk for the rest of the trailer. This trailer showed that Superman has a personality. He gets to do comedy. I loved it. There was this bit at the end of the trailer where Mr. Terrific's like, stop messing around, and Superman's just like, I'm not messing around, I'm doing important stuff.
I'm doing something okay.
It's like he's got this corny humor. He looks exhausted, and I'm just like, I feel you, Superman. I connect with you. This is fantastic.
I love how petty Lex is in this. Like we're going Silver Age, steals 40 cakes, evil Lex.
Yeah, no, this Lex, like there's a line where this Lex is like, they chose him, let them die, and I'm like, yeah, this is Lex Luthor right here. There is no like trying to do a redemption arc with him. It's like pure evil Lex Luthor.
I love like complex like like Lex Luthor is one of those like characters I love who has like a very complicated he's like even though he does bad things he is trying to be a good person at the end of the day. No, but I also love my evil petty Lex also at the same time.
Oh, totally.
And so I like this trailer. I mean I just love he just walks into the fortress destroying stuff already. It's just great.
Mm. And I love too. I love the dynamic with like Mr. Terrific being a more experienced hero than Superman. And he's like, "Get your stuff together." I'm like, yes, I love this. I love that we have
Uh,
all these dynamics going. I love like Superman facing off against Guy Gardner, and Guy Gardner just be like, "Oh, you gonna step up, Big Blue?" Like,
so, yeah, okay, the usual Guy Gardner
exactly. Like
interaction.
everybody's feeling locked in. Like, there's a shot where Lois is flying like the T craft.
Sphere. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that shot.
and like all the daily planets in there, and it's just like
I I I I love
I'm finally on
Superman
board.
holding. I love this. I love the scene where Superman is holding baby Joey like he's an action like he just grasping that baby. He made me laugh
I
so hard.
know. I think the only thing I didn't like about the trailer is we didn't get a shot of Hawk Girl. That's about it. And if that's my only complaint, we're doing pretty dang good. I guess we should address the teeth because that was a whole thing on Twitter.
The 3D moment.
So the teeth bouncing off the lens is honestly an amazing visual. But there was a lot of big discussion about like would Superman knock somebody's teeth out? And my take on it is it depends on the context, you know? From what we can tell in this trailer, the guys that work for Lex in their power armors, like Superman like heat visions a whole crowd of them and they're still standing.
I said that I can't tell they're power armor dudes or robots. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Some
they're
shots.
definitely power armor dudes because the guy he punches the teeth out of, before he punches the guy and the teeth fly out, Crypto flies up and rips the dude's helmet off. Which, first of all, I love Psycho Crypto. It's great.
He's
Second
a
of
good
all,
boy.
I love the tag teaming. But third of all, it's making me think the only way to knock these guys out is to just knock them out, you know?
Also,
If
like
he can't break
I
through
don't.
the armor, these probably like crypto popping helmets so he can knock them out is the way to do it, you know?
Also, like I love Superman being the goodest boy, but like, come on, he probably knocks some robbers like that a
Exactly.
couple of times.
I think the visual was a little striking. You know, I think that was like, you know, and as people like Kaijin 54 said, if you get punched by Superman, you're lucky only teeth fall out. Exactly. He's pulling his punches. Um,
World made out of cardboard.
exactly. World made of carbon. That's what I think. I think that moment in the movie, at least I hope that moment in the movie is like a world made of cardboard, or like a Superman versus the Elite when he just like unleashes himself on Manchester Black to show how scary he could be. Like I think that's going to be kind of yeah. Mr. Yuki said maybe they're super soldiers on top of being in power suits. I think
There's
you know
because
context. If it's like Superman being brutal for no reason, yeah, I'd have a problem with it. But I feel like there's good precedence for the context being that he necessary.
isn't the power armor the Mooks are wearing the same armor as the Ultraman quote unquote in the movie?
Yes, I think so. They're very much like all Lex guys, um, and I think that that's what we're kind of seeing. What people were mad about it? It wasn't just the Snyder fans. It was people that were I think justifiably so. They're like that seems kind of violent for Superman. Yeah, definitely. It's not something we've seen before. You know, for me, it doesn't bother me until we see the context. You know, it's like like you know him snapping Zod's neck in Man of Steel. Inherently, if you just put that in a bubble, not as bad of an issue as the context. In the context, you can see other ways of him getting that situation solved, right?
That's my biggest problem with
Yeah,
the like. I don't like the Superman killing people in general. It just like there was so many other options in that
exactly.
scenario.
And the thing is too, it's the same thing with like the John Kent death in Man of Steel. It was preventable. There were other options there, right? If you're gonna put Superman in a situation where he has to be incredibly violent, you know, like it is as like killing Zod, you have to put him in a position where it's the only choice he has. Not that he could have pivoted his head up, not that he could have done anything. You know what I mean? That they left it
Cover
too open.
cover his eyes with his bare hands. He could take the heat.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the issue I have with that scene. Because I do think that you know we want Superman to always do the right thing. We want Batman to always do the right thing. But you know, context is important. You got to set it up. If you're going to have them do a bad thing, you know, in the case of Superman especially, he has to feel that there's absolutely no other way to do it. You know,
Superman's one of those characters. Yeah, I love the character so much, but like, it's one of those things where I feel like so many writers, like
he's been
he's like
flanderized so much.
high injustice games. I despise your writing so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, do I want like if people are like we want Justice Tree, I don't want Justice Tree because I don't want to see more of that story.
But I will say, like, at least in that context, like, you know, the Joker poisoned him to the point where he killed Lois himself. I get why he snapped, you know? Like, they gave a justification for it. Do I like it?
It-
Nah, but like I get the justification.
I think when it comes to that, it's always like yeah, I don't like when it comes to like evil Superman like that. It's always a tricky topic. Like I
Yeah.
think Justice Lord Superman, I think was a better version of that because I mean like they're both similar, but I feel like
Justice
I don't know
Lord
because I think
Superman didn't feel like an evil Superman, but a misguided one.
yeah, where Justice Superman is just evil, which
And
I
Justice
hate.
Superman's like, I'm a Nazi now. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
God.
I think this thing with Injustice, like I think the setup works. I just think the execution, like the follow through, was just so extreme that it doesn't work as well. But welcome, Common Jojo. I do agree with Peacemaker. It would have been more fun if you just suplexed Zod. Exactly. That would have been
Now
more
I'm
fun.
just imagining the goddamn Zangief pile driver collecting. Why is Superman never like a heavy, like a grappler character in
Right?
fighting games now?
He's always like a zoner. So yeah, anyways, I think the trailer looks great. I went from like cautiously optimistic to I'm 100% on board. And I would have tickets already, except my IMAX hasn't reopened, so I can't buy IMAX tickets yet.
I mean, how many of the merch have you bought already of the movie?
I technically have purchased all the toys. Amazon's supposed to be sending me Hawk Girl and the Engineer next week. So I've got everything else. I've got all the Spin Master figures otherwise.
Are you getting the gooey you're getting the gory kaiju?
The only
figure?
reason I don't want to buy the Gory Kaiju is I don't want to buy Superman a third time.
But that one has action punch action.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I will. I might get that one maybe later, or there's like a good coupon or something.
That figure's so gory. I kind of love it. It's like
Yeah.
yes, like you rip his guts out.
Yeah. Benjamin Wiseman, I keep hearing hot girl instead of hawk girl. Yeah, I mean, you know, both work. Yeah, no, I've definitely gone
How you
down the
feel
rabbit
about
hole in the toys.
Zelchuk mentioned
Yeah.
how you feel about the popcorn buckets for the film?
I think the popcorn buckets are clever. I think the most clever one is the one where it's like Superman's heat vision heating up the popcorn. Like
Also, welcome wheels.
it looks like a popcorn machine, but then it's like Superman's doing it. I like it. I like that a lot. Side note, what is going on with this Hunger Games movie? They keep dropping casting announcements and they're all bangers. Glenn Close and Billy Porter are in it now. Like what?
Wait, what? There's a new Hunger Games movie?
Yeah.
God.
There's a new Hunger Games movie. They keep dropping casting announcements. It's people I'd never expect to see in a Hunger Games movie. It's very.
I haven't heard Hunger Games for years since I was
They
in
had a
high
new
school.
got like a year ago.
Wait, they did?
Yeah,
I
it
thought
had,
it
like-
ended
It
like
was
that.
a prequel.
It was a prequel, yeah.
Yeah, it was a prequel.
I think it did okay. I kept seeing the trailers for it. I don't know anything about Hunger Games, but this new one's like the next prequel or something, and it's just like they're just casting like I think like Ray Fiennes is in it and stuff. I'm like, what? All right, welcome, Wheels. You want to talk about Mr. Miracle? I'll take that as a yes. All right.
Well, no, not really. Oh,
You don't like
wait, the
Tom-
animated
you don't-
show? Sorry, my bad. Yeah, no. I'm looking forward to that show.
Okay.
You don't like
Sorry, my
Tom?
bad.
What, do you
I
like
my
Tom
brain-
King?
My brain heard Mr. Miracle, and my brain went, "You mean Mr. Terrific, the black guy?" And I was like, "No,
No,
that's
we're
not
done
it."
talking about Superman.
We just talked about Mr. Terrific. Welcome, Infinity War Torn. So here's the thing. All right, so we got Mr. Miracle. Let's go over what was announced before we go over feelings. So Mr. Miracle is going to be an animated series. I don't think they announced what network it's going to be on. Based on subject matter, I would say it's probably HBO Max.
Oh, you say that, but we know how much Max loves animation.
Exactly. Anyways, so we're getting a Mr. Miracle animated series. This is like our fifth like DC Studios animated show, and we've seen none of them so far.
Yep.
But Mr. Miracle, it is going to be adapting the Tom King and Mitch Gerard's 12-issue series. Tom King is going to be the showrunner on said series, and according to what we've heard, it's supposed to connect to Gunn's DC universe.
This one's connected to Guns Universe. Oh yeah, because it has the DC Studios logo
Yeah.
on it.
Basically, yeah, Kai Judge before Mr. Miracle show. Yes, written by Tom King. No. So here's the thing. I think the Tom King Mr. Miracle comic is great. It's really well done. It's a little bit of a copy of his Vision comic, if we're being honest, but it's good.
What, Tom King ripping himself off? it's a ending and why. Holy shit!
I know, right? So the thing is, I think that's my only reservation with this is that I like Tom King's Mr. Miracle. By the way, for context, I am a huge Mr. Miracle and Big Barda fan. They are like two of my favorite DC characters. Mr. Miracle in particular, I've read every one of his solo adventures. I know what I'm talking about. So I can say this with confidence that the Mr. Miracle comic is good, but I really like it as an alternate universe story. So what I don't want to see is that this be kind of taking... That comic takes a lot of liberties being an alternate universe story, so that there are certain changes to other characters. For example, Miracle and Barda are pretty much fine. They're pretty solid. It comes in when you deal with like things like Granny Goodness or Orion or the other new gods, or what happened. Oh my God, Light Ray got sent through the meat grinder in this comic.
Nah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He was left completely fine.
No, he wasn't brutalized at all. Anyways, my thing is, if this is going to be in Gunn's DC universe, I hope that Tom King and James Gunn, being the one in charge that can say these things. Congrats on getting a Tangle and doing a video on it, Infinite. That is a huge accomplishment. So anyways, Tom King, I hope, has the wherewithal, and I hope James Gunn, as the guy that's in charge, has the wherewithal to maybe use the core ideas of the comic, but not do a direct adaptation, so that way we're not torpedoing the rest of the New Gods out the gate. Because that would be my main concern. Also, as people have said, this comic has incredibly heavy subject matter, and it's going to be interesting to see how it's portrayed in animation, because usually that's kind of stuff that would be saved for live-action performances, because there's a lot in that book. So,
what goes to
all I know
Tom
is we better get Barda sauce, or I'm out. I don't care.
Based on this art, we should.
I mean, with Tom King writing, like, I don't want to automatically think it's gonna be automatically just gonna be 1-to-1 his comic, because there's a lot of there's a lot of examples though, just because they got the writer of the comics, it means it's gonna be an exact adaptation of his book. Like,
Invincible's like the second draft of a comic. Like the Invincible show has been tweaking and cleaning up a lot of the issues with the original comic. So.
Or because the Spider-Man new anime series, like, I think Bendis was like one of the main writers, or like I know he's but it wasn't just also Spider-Man; it was his own. So we just don't, we don't know if it's gonna be just 1-to-1 his comic, because
I'm not gonna prejudge. I'm just gonna put out into the world. Please change what happens with the other New Gods. You can still have Darkseid coming over and eating a veggie platter, but please change everything about Orion and Light Ray.
I do love that. Well, there's something so funny to see Darkseid do stupid stuff like that.
Darkseid doing domestic things is great, and I want to keep that. But I do think we need to change everything else that happened with, like, I mean, even with Barda, or not with Barda, with Granny Goodness, with Light Ray, with Orion, I would change all of that because.
Let's just bring up Darkseid's greatest moment: the infamous just sitting on the couch waiting for Mary Marvel with like a grape soda in hand.
Yes. Somebody was sharing Darkseid on the couch again the other day, which was really fun.
I want to see Darkseid Thanos at like they're ready for a football game or something like that. They have all the on their couch or something like that. No, wait, no, I just want to see Darkseid and Thanos like Beavis and Butthead now.
That would be fun. But yeah, no release date, no further information, just here's another thing we're making, and we'll see how it develops. Because, they had announced when the Supergirl movie was announced, it was Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and it was seemingly based on the Tom King Supergirl comic. And now it's just called Supergirl, and that Lobo's in that movie, which he was never in that comic, so they've obviously, gone from this is an adaptation of this comic to now we're doing our own thing.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of the comic adaptations nowadays, because, I mean, like, Civil War is not really made of Civil War the movie. It's not really the same as Civil War the comic.
It's based on Civil War the idea.
Yeah.
Welcome, AR. I will also say...
Got a funny idea.
Yeah.
Off of Ryan's Beavis the Butthead, Thanos, and Darkseid thing, their dynamic would be like Hank Hill and Bill. Because Thanos would be the idiot, and Darkseid would be like the more composed idiot, like the one who's actually somewhat sophisticated, going, Thanos, what you doing? Don't make me kick your ass over this propane.
That's true.
Which one would Mike Judge voice, Thanos or Darkseid?
Well, if Mike Judge voices both of them, that would be actually more interesting.
Yes. Tell you what, I sell Infinity Stone accessories.
Actually, no, just for lulz, bring back Jim Cummings as Thanos.
Oh yes, the Superhero
Yes.
Squad. Yes,
That'd be fun. Oh, that's right, LPH. They did announce that TTG is getting a 10th season. Because when the sun burns out, Teen Titans Goes to keep going.
That's how we'll be able to replenish the universe.
Exactly. With waffles.
It'll become our new sun somehow.
It'll be all the pent up frustration of the insane production schedule on that show. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so Tom King seems to be making himself real prominent over at Guns DCU because this is now the third project, maybe second if you. Supergirl seemed to have gone through some things, but we have Supergirl One of Tomorrow based on Tom King comic. Tom King's in the writer's room for Lanterns, and now Tom King is showrunning this show. So Supergirl may not be based on his comic anymore, but he's still involved in two projects. So I like bringing comic people in. Can we bring somebody else in besides Tom King?
So you mentioned the Teen Titans Go budget date.
Gunn is kind of a military guy. Is that why he kept Tom King around? Because Gunn is like
because Tom King was involved in the CIA, and you can look that up for yourself to see what he said to what he did during his time in the CIA.
Because is that the real reason that James Gunn's keeping his?
I don't know. I think it's just because Tom King's a popular comic writer, and his books always sell.
Tom King. As much as people don't, Tom King, like many writers, even if they're controversial, is a very sadly very well known meme. Hence why they keep getting work.
Yep.
Scenario like that.
His books always sell. It's just notable. Anyways, what were you gonna say about you were saying something?
Go. You said the show would like have like the budget of that show. I just remember one of my favorite gags I saw. It was like we already had the money to keep ourselves together. And just Robin's rig glitching out with his limbs glitching out and stuff.
I love when they visited the animation studio in I think it was their 200th episode. They visited the animation studio, and all the artists are chained to their desks in the basement of Cartoon Network.
Yes. It's like that one gag in Clerks the anime series. Like it's like work, we are slaves. It's just the Korean animated factories.
Muteki says, did Tom King write for Suicide Squad or Amanda Waller? Feels like a good fit. That does feel like a good fit for him.
Now he wrote Jenny Sparks, which I hate.
Yeah.
I hate that writing.
He keeps self-inserting himself into comics. Why don't he self-insert as Waller? That'd actually work.
It's like the guy who did Rent a Girlfriend. Fucked his own main character because he loved his other main character more.
And to wrap up our DC talk, we need Weird Al Darkseid to return. I agree, Kaiju. I agree. All right.
100%.
Speaking of returning, Mel Brooks is 98, and he just announced a movie he's going to be in 2 years.
Listen, if he's actually still alive, already the GOAT.
I was telling my dad about this news. Spaceballs sequel's finally happening. And I told my dad, I was like, they said they're starting to work on it. See you later, my downward spiral. And I said, I will bet you $10 the first thing they film is Mel Brooks' scenes as yogurt.
I'd say this has the best teaser trailer ever.
It does. If you guys haven't seen it, the teaser trailer was basically a Star Wars title crawl, and it's like, ever since the Spaceballs, ever since in the last 40 years, there has been, and it's just like listed all the Star Wars things, all the dunes, all the aliens, all the predators,
But since then, it has been a prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequels, a prequel to the sequels, countless TV spin-offs, a movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which is both a prequel and a sequel. Not to mention 2 Dunes, 7 Jurassic Parks, 2 Avatars, plus 3 upcoming Avatars, making 5 Avatars. 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s. DCU attempt number 1, DCU attempt number 2, an animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King, a live-action animated Lion King prequel, 8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same 8 Harry Potter movies, a whole stream search for Star Trek, 7 Alien movies, 2 of which are also Predator movies, not to be mistaken with the 6 Predator movies that are not also Alien movies, 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an Alien movies, 4 Beatles movies, and Oppenheimer.
But there's only been one Spaceballs. Until now.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say, when I read that wasn't Mel who wrote that. This is one of those times where I know Mel did not write that. I know which writer it had to have been. It was his son of all people, because his son's a bigger geek and stuff.
Yes.
So I feel like his son's in the writer room for this one.
And I will say, the thing I do think was his line totally is like, Mel Brooks comes on and he's like, we thought, what would the fans want? But instead we're making the sequel. And so the thing that's great is that they've already confirmed Bill Pullman's coming back, and his son Lewis Pullman's going to be in the movie too, playing his son in the movie. So that's already rife for like great comedy. I think Keke Palmer's going to be in it. Josh Gad's going to be in it. The woman from the original Spaceballs, she's back as well. I can't remember her name at the moment.
Zuniga.
Yeah, she's back. I have a feeling Josh Gad's going to be playing like the son of John Candy's character. I think that just feels likely. The thing I with the teaser trailer, I think this movie's not going to be like, cause the first movie was very much just a straight like parody of Star Wars, and then they kind of brought some other elements in, like when they accidentally spoiled Transformers the movie to do a parody, because it came out before the Transformers movie did, but they heard about Unicron, so they parodied Unicron in Spaceballs, which kind of ended up spoiling Transformers.
I forget one of the remember Spaceballs, Spaceballs, the comic book was just a Transformers comic as well.
Yes.
I think with like yogurt slapped on it.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the Transformers #1, but Yogurt put the logo on top of it.
I didn't know about this. That sounds hilarious.
It's amazing. So with all this said, with the way the teaser trailer is, I have a feeling this is not going to be just like parodying Star Wars, because we can all parody Star Wars, right? I think it's going to be.
If anything, it's going to parody itself too, because
I think it's going to be a parody of Legacy
cartoon.
A parody of Legacy sequels, and also the way franchises work, I think would make this beautiful.
I mean, yeah. I love they never mentioned the horrible cartoon.
Yes, they just like, pretend that never happened. And I think if they're doing a parody of I think that's why they got Lewis Pullman to play the son of Bill Pullman. Like,
isn't also Rick Moranis gonna return?
Oh, and yeah, sorry, that was the big news. Is that Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement for this. Sony tried to lure him back to Ghostbusters twice, and he said no. But this was the one he was like, well, if Mel Brooks is calling.
Well, yeah. Like, are you gonna? Okay, if you've been in a Mel Brooks movie, and he's like almost 100 years old, and he calls you and says, "Yo, you want to be in my movie?" Are you gonna say fucking no?
No, of course not.
So what title do you guys want? Do you want Spaceballs 2, The Search for Money?
I want Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Or do you want
that?
Or
I want the one that Ryan was bringing up: Spaceballs 3, The Search for Spaceballs
2.
The Search for More Money. Make it the whole title. Make it a long ass title, because we have those keep popping up, right? Make the.
So it'll be Spaceballs, the Search for Spaceballs 3, and also The Search for More Money.
Yes, there you go. Just boom, line it up. I think this is. I mean, if this has like any of like we've been the Naked Gun reboot put out a trailer today. If this is can parody movies be back, because Scary Movie's back, Naked Gun's back, Spaceballs back? Are we back? Are we back yet? We got to find out if any of these movies are good first. But are we back?
All I know is Spaceballs, the new movie, better just bring back the original Spaceballs song, or they already failed.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What's one of your favorite gags in the Spaceballs? Because I have like there's too many for me, but like for one, it's always
we're always forgetting. We're all like, oh, he's gonna be doing the yogurt. He's gonna be President Scroob.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Don't forget.
When we see the return, oh wait, what's the Pizza the Hutt's son?
Pizza the Hutt's son. Oh god, they're probably gonna do a parody of Pizza. Can he be played by Jeremy Allen White as well, just so we can really jump on the parody? That'd be funny. That'd be real funny.
But one of my favorite gags for Space, like one of my favorite gags, is either the fight between the main character and Darth Helmet, where they actually kill the camera crew.
Yes, my favorite one is when they're combing the desert.
Yes, we ain't seen shit.
Oh yeah, it's like the combing the desert, just combing the desert.
And it's played by freaking Two-Box actor.
Yes, Tim Russ, and Tim Russ tweeted about this movie, and I'm like, you gonna be in it?
You better. Yo, if he's in it again, oh my god! All I know is they need to bring back Sergeant Asshole, Major Asshole, surrounded by assholes.
Yes,
and we need another Drewish joke. Because that Drewish joke, the first time I saw it, it popped me so hard I kept rewinding it. Where they actually animated John Candy's dog ears to like lift up when he goes, "Funny."
Yep.
Doesn't look Drewish.
You fool! You fool! You cut their stunt doubles.
Yes, no. This
also,
is what we
great
need.
joke is the security code. The security code.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's my luggage number.
Psycho
Sir.
has a very great Spaceballs story. Imagine, mother putting her 3 kids to eat, but thought to put them on a movie on the TV. Bang, Spaceballs shows up, and she couldn't work out why her kids were laughing so loud.
Oh, dude, the first time I saw it, my mom was like, "Oh, we always rent movies at the local video place up the street from us." My mom was like, "We got to see if they have Spaceballs. You're gonna love it if you like Men in Tights." So like, I'm like 6 or whatever, and my mom knew I already loved Men in Tights a lot, so we went and we got rented Spaceballs, and I was like dying, like, and I'm like 6 years old, like just like laughing so hard, like there's no sound coming out of me.
Sir,
Like I was like dry laughing.
sir, our system has been jammed.
The first time I saw it was
No one gives me
my
the
parents
right
bought the
answer.
DVD, and then they were like, "We need to watch this."
Need to stop being so little.
I know.
Stop. I know you're only 2 years younger than me, but stop.
Lurker speed, go!
I think I even have Spaceballs on VHS still somewhere in my house because we went and bought it after I saw it at the rental place.
Mr. Tanuki said in reference to Tim Russ coming back, "I would love it if he showed up with all the legacy character gravitas they do in these sequels, but then nobody remembers who he was."
Dude, they also need to bring back what's his face from Police Academy who did the bleeps, the creeps.
Yep. Muteki,
Bring
the
him
Spaceballs 4K came out last year. I haven't picked it up yet, but I noticed it went on back order on Amazon. Let's see.
I won't be sorry. This was that was bulk buy when this sequel was announced.
Totally.
Like, I'm pretty sure Spaceballs 2 is going to be way stronger than History of the World Part 2.
I think it being a movie, also it's going to be in theaters, which is great too. It being a movie instead of a show, I think History of the World Part 2 had just too much time on its hands.
Yeah.
And it became a variety show instead.
I'm going to be honest, the trailer was like way better than the show because like I still love the Bible gag when they're clowning on the King's version of the Bible. God, that was so good.
That is still the best part of History of the World Part 2, where they're just like, "Can we make Jesus white?"
Because my favorite part about that too is like recently learning from Kaus about the King's James only people in theological debates and stuff. They are nutty. The people who just believe that is the one and only Bible you need to have. That all are like so. Like seeing that parody was amazing.
It was great. Now AR said they got to do a CG face or actor replacement gag for sure. You know how you do it, right? You do it with Dot Matrix, right? Because Joan Rivers has passed, but you CGI her robot form, and then have somebody else voicing her.
Just get her daughter to voice her.
Yeah, get her daughter to voice her, but then like CGI the robot form instead of building a suit. Like that's your gag right there, right?
Make it a really bad CG one. Purposely make it bad. That would be the funniest shit ever.
So anyways, we're all excited for this movie if we still live in 2 years.
What you should do, what Mel should do, and this is going to be a weird thing, you should have like weird hologram archive of the other presidents of the empire.
Yeah.
And they're all just all of his friends that passed away. So it'd be like, frickin'
kind of like how they did Rufus in the third Bill and Ted, where it's like a hologram that's archive footage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just do put everyone that's dead that was in previous, Brooks films. So like you would have in there frickin' Leslie Nielsen, you would have in there Gene Wilder, all those guys like frickin' oh god, I can't think of his name. The guy who played the Sheriff of Nottingham, John Candy, just stuff like that. Just sneak them in there somehow as Easter egg. Like even if they're not in Spaceballs, just sneak in past guys who are no longer with us as like some kind of like in universe gag.
So
like, if they get Carrie Ells in this, I'll be happy because I'm like we're never gonna get a Robin Hood too.
They might have a minute. I mean, he did just do the Knuckles show. He's not like retired or anything. So
no, exactly because. Remember when they did History of the World Red Carpet? He was like, "My rabbi!"
Yeah.
He was like, "My Robin!"
Blader says just no AI slop. I think they'd probably do a parody of AI. I think they would do an AI parody, but I don't think they'd use AI. Mr. Doogie said they should also have Tig Notaro awkwardly green screened over another actor and only in reverse shots.
Oh.
Does anyone know that story besides... I know it's been a few years, but... it's like the coolest thing Zack Snyder ever did. Was he made this zombie movie called Army of the Dead, and one of the actors in that movie was he was in a domestic violence case, and so Zack Snyder was like, "Well, we already filmed the movie, but we have the power of green screen," so he replaced the guy with Tig Notaro, and so she just filmed all of her scenes on green screen, and they just kind of like they cut him out and put her in place, and like didn't do any tweaks, and it's just funny because like everybody just calls her bro the whole movie. But it's Tig Notaro, and she's got the look for it. She just rolls with it. It's the funniest thing. But it was like it was so seamless. Like, if you had no idea they did that, you wouldn't even know. Like, I was so impressed. But they're like, we don't want this abuser in our movie anymore. Let's just replace him. And like they did it in post. I was like, that is like one of the most baller filmmaking moves. Would have been good if the movie was good too. But just appreciate it on principle. Do a stupid
parody of Grogu. And Grogu's played by Max Brooks.
Oh, that would be fun.
I love that.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a Grogu parody.
But he's a sock puppet. But he's like a sock puppet.
Oh, there's gonna. Oh, you know what's going to be? It's not going to be just a Grogu parody. There's going to be a parody of all these babies that keep showing up in every movie.
Yes.
They're going to be like the
merchandising.
It's going to be the merchandising scene. He's going to be like, and we have. Like baby Pizza the Hut and baby this. Like every character has a baby.
Merchandising. We have Yogurt the baby, Pizza Hut the baby, Dark Helmet the baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Later, says somebody watched The Flash, they'd done a replacement thing to it. That movie, Army of the Dead, does prove you can replace an actor in post. You totally can. It's a lot of work, but you can do it. Maybe we can do that for Jared Leto and Tron Ares. Anyways.
Now I want a gag like that in Spaceballs too, but it's like horribly CG head. It's just their head, but it's super desync, so like their head would turn one way, but their body would turn the other way.
like Billy Piper.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to some toy news. I want to go through some of this kind of quick. It's a little bit of a Soundstream the flamethrower. So first of all, NECA's revealed their Comic-Con exclusives. A little bit lighter this year. They've only got like 4 items.
Hey, found out NECA's finally releasing a King Ghidorah.
They are?
Yeah, they got the distribution rights to Haya Toys.
Oh,
really?
The joke finally came full circle. They're finally releasing a King of the Monsters.
Cool. Wow, okay. All right, so the exclusives this year, we have glow-in-the-dark Bride of Frankenstein on a retro card. She wasn't part of the original Renko line, but she's coming on a retro card, which is great. I'm going to get this. There is Surf's Up Chucky from Child's Play 3? Yeah, 3.
That's not in the movie, since it's just made up for this, I guess.
Cool.
Or just to fit the summer name.
There's a Tiki Terror Ben Cooper kid, and then a Ninja Turtles 4-pack where they're why is everything surfing? Why is everything
because
tiki and surfing, and then the bride's just there like, don't let me out in the sun, I'm gonna burn.
Because they want to do a summer theme. The turtles are one thing you know for the turtles. Apparently, they're actually the first turtles that are at least cartoon turtles that are pinless. Apparently,
yeah,
that's nice.
That's a good upgrade.
Or inset pins.
So if you're not going to the show, if you're going to the show, you can buy them at the show. If you're not going to the show, they're going to be going up for pre-order this week on June 18th at 11 a.m. Eastern, June 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern, and June 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be a certain amount each day. So if you miss it one day, try it the next day. But they'll be going up this week. So, and if you pre-order from NECA Store, they charge you up front, just so everyone knows. What were we going to say, Wheels?
I thought you said, instead of saying show, I thought you were going to slip up and say, if you're not going to the shit, then SDCC is the shits.
It is. I'll be buying the Bride, because monsters. Speaking of monsters, Toonie Terrors has another wave of Universal monsters. This one's the Bride, the Phantom, the Gilman, and good old Dr. Griffith, Invisible Man. The thing to note here, as I've never seen a Toonie Terror with an alternate head before, but the Phantom comes with a disguise head.
I would say because the Bride and the Lagoon are like pretty normal. I think the Bride's barely Toonie, but I do love like Phantom's like a kind of pose.
Yeah,
but my favorite is the Invisible Man because he looks like a Muppet.
He does, and also I just noticed he has an alternate head without his hat.
Because I know that's like that's the Groucho Marx glasses, but like the way his proportions are and the way his nose so big, it looks like a Muppet nose. His head's also a domo, so it looks like a Muppet.
Correction, Bride also comes with an alternate head. I did not look through these photos deep enough. I'm apologize. These went up for pre-order like 5 minutes before we start the show. So like, you know.
I wish the bride and the creature look a little more fun, silly looking. They look a little too normal compared to such a
They do.
Muppet looking Visual Man and
I mean, Creature's already kind of adorable by default, and now he just looks the same. And yeah, it comes with an alternate. He comes with an accessory too. That's good.
He should have come with. He should have had like big anime eyes or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely gonna get these. I have the first 4, obviously, because you guys. Know
I do hope
me.
the fan. I do hope the fans need to stand because that could easily just knock over because of like the weight, the pose and weight.
Yeah,
that one.
I have all my Toonie Terrors. I've only opened my Nosferatu and my Elvira. The rest of them are just I own my American Werewolf set, but like the rest of them are still on card because I want to make a shelf because I feel like with a lot of these I'm gonna have to tack them down or get stands on them. So. Mr. Juki says the head swaps work decently. Toonie Terrors, though I popped an arm off once. Yeah, I haven't had any alternate parts on mine, so it's good that they're good like that. I want to build a monster shelf and have all my and also it's great because like Toonie Terrors, like I have like Jessica Fletcher from Murder She Wrote, and she looks really scared, so I can just put her next to the monsters and it won't be out of place. Yeah. All right, Thundercats Wave 13 went up for pre-order today. This is a vehicle wave, so there's LJN, Ultraman, and the Sky Cutter, which were revealed months ago. They're just now finally going up for pre-order.
Having one figure waves is so weird.
It is. I mean, it's 2 items, you know, because we got the vehicle. I always call it the flying rectangle.
Also, I do love one of those. It's just the Akira poster.
Yes, they just were like, let's just do the Akira poster. I'm not buying any of this because I don't care about the LJN figures and I don't need the flying rectangle.
I do like he just Birdman. He just muscular Birdman.
Yeah. Later it says the Murder She Wrote one came with a stand. That's not normal. Not usually. I mean, though, again, I've only opened a couple. Maybe others have stands and they could have started including stands recently. I just haven't opened any of them to know. Because I don't have a shelf for them and I don't want to open them and have because they're kind of vinyl-y. So I feel like if I keep them in a box or something, they're gonna like scratch each other. So I kind of like waiting to have a shelf. But this looks nice. If you're interested in this, it's $250 for the pair. It's $65 for Ultraman and $185 for the vehicle. So, yeah, I think they all should come with stands on the Toonie stuff. I agree. All right, McFarlane had one of their boring live streams this past week, and they showed off a bunch of toys. Some of which we knew about, some of which was new. Superpowers Animal Man, for example.
I like he comes with a jacket. I think that's the first time we see... No, I mean Batman have come with like capes, but like it's first like we see like a cloth like clothing.
Mm-hmm.
One of these looks nice.
We also got Cyborg, who's looking really nice actually.
Wasn't he one of the rarer figures of the original line?
He was, yeah. He was one. He's the first Wave 3 figure they've actually remade, which I thought they should have done from the jump because of how rare that last wave was.
That's nice. That's nice to see. I could definitely see this being a in-demand item, just to have a like a replacement
Cyborg.
for.
And he's cartoon based, which I think is cool. So he looks different than the original toy. So there's they're not just straight reissuing it. We got Dead Man, who looks nice as well. And Disco Nightwing.
Some love. Good old disco collar Nightwing.
It's funny they're in the same wave, considering that Nightwing got his costume inspiration from Dead Man. Now, the downside of that wave is that wave is exclusive to the McFarlane Toy Store.
Last wave was also, wasn't it? So I'm not surprised.
In weirdest news possible, there is a Ross exclusive Superman movie figure single card. And it's not not saying Ross exclusive as like this isn't going to sell and it's going to end up on Ross. It is legitimately announced as an exclusive to the Ross discount retail chain.
There's been getting more toys. I noticed because like even like the Jazzer's Total anime line, you can easily pick up at Ross. Also, like that's not like they're discount. No, they just sell them there. Also, I guess I'm not sure like Ross as a late recent that's gotten like really big out of nowhere.
If I'm going to make a prediction. It's going to go like Walgreens. They're going to keep this up for a couple years, and then some leadership's going to change over, and it'll be all gone. And it's like it never happened.
At least Ross actually stocked their toys on like Walgreens.
Yeah. I mean, back when Walgreens started carrying like exclusive Marvel Legends, people have talked about finding seas of Medusas. Like when they started, they were like really adamant about it, and they overstocked so many of their figures. But then they just petered off after a certain point.
Always sold toys. It just now they're getting more toys being sent to them, like by actual proper companies instead of just discount, like being getting like
Yeah,
leftovers.
instead of it being
Instead of
overstock, it's like actually dedicated going to that.
Yeah, and unlike Walgreens, which is a drugstore, so
Yep.
like it was just so weird. It just getting toys. At least you buy toys at Ross for a while now.
Yep. Next thing is some 2-pack of Dark Knight's Metal stuff I cannot be bothered to care about. Collector Edition Superboy. Who we haven't seen the accessory loadout on him, but he doesn't seem to have a jacket because the render didn't have a jacket. This doesn't have a jacket.
So this is definitely Return Superboy, right?
Yeah. This is the good old '90s look.
Well, I don't think we don't think we have any of the accessory loadout for any of the collector edition. I think except for Beast Boy. I think it's the only one we know. We know his accessories.
Yep.
So we just have to wait and see. He looks nice. I think
he looks good. Wonder Woman looks great. This Golden Age Wonder Woman.
I hope they re-release the original collector edition Wonder Woman because that thing sold out like crazy.
Or Power Girl, or Hawk Girl, or all the other girls that I can't buy because they keep selling out like immediately because they have chase variants people keep trying to get.
Dude,
good luck. I got so lucky when I found Power Girl at Walmart.
I saw Power Girl in my Walmart, and I didn't want to pay the $30. I feel like
which one, the regular or the jacket one?
Just the regular one. It just I was like,
it doesn't. She's not worth 30 because she doesn't come with anything to make her.
That's my problem. She doesn't come with enough accessories to justify her dirty.
Aren't like most of those figures supposed to be like $24?
Well, the collector edition ones are 30 now. They used to be 25, but now they're 30.
They usually come with
$30. I really don't.
It just that's the thing. I get my problem with the collector edition line. It's always been it's so inconsistent because there's some things that's definitely worth the dirty.
Like Mr. Terrific comes with like a soft goods jacket, multiple T-spheres, multiple effect parts, multiple faces, multiple hands. Power Girl comes with a couple hands and a static cat, and it's like this. It's the same price, and it's like what? No consistency. Anyways, Golden Age Wonder Woman looks nice. Steve Trevor. We got a figure of Steve Trevor before Black Canary. It's cool though. At least he doesn't look like Steve at all. I hate the head sculpt.
Just military dude.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Steve. Now in the digital line, which also sell out ridiculously fast online, I found Dr. Fate in store though, so that worked out. We're getting Batgirl, Stephanie Brown Batgirl.
Wait, I'm gonna try my best to get her.
Yeah, I like that she's got a soft goods cape and a soft goods hood to go with it, but it doesn't look like the hood can fit over her hair.
Unless the ponytail's removable.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, but like I have her girlfriend. I need to get her alongside her.
I like how she comes with the same oversized batarang that Cass does. They're twinsies.
Yeah, GFs. They belong together.
Exactly. Then we got.
I love Bright and Blade Raider for CJ. Nice Indiana Jones military guy figure.
Yeah, legitimately, it's so generic. Batman. Moving on.
Nightfall Batman.
Yeah, Monarch. So I was talking about this in the Discord. I was like, if we can get Glup Shadows from the '90s like Monarch, can I get Aztec the Ultimate Man?
That'd be nice. I mean, Monarch's one of those like he may be crap. Like his character's crap, but like I always like his design a lot.
He looks cool.
He always look like a Mega Man villain.
Yeah. Next up, Disco Nightwing, who is got a creepy ass smile, but he's still Disco Nightwing. So
it's Disco Nightwing. Oh, sound out. We got more actually Figuarts pre-orders coming in just now.
Okay, are they on Big Bad Toy Store?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It'll be fine because it'll be in the link when we load it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Mr. Miracle, which was really appropriate for the announcement of the show. I want to get Mr. Miracle, but I also have to ask: are we getting Big Barda?
I wish he had Claw Cape, but like because that's reuse. Because I'm pretty sure it's by the same as Retinado and Alan Scott. So that. I mean, smart reuse, but damn, I wish I had a Claw Cape scenario like that.
I do want though. Where's our like 10-inch tall Big Barda figure to go with him? Because if he's using that body, he's going to be too tall. So you need to make the Barda taller.
Oh God! Oh, these prices on the new.
Yep. We got Wesley Dodds Sandman busting out those old John Constantine parts again.
Oh no, he's new. Oh, his arms are reused, but his torso is new.
Yeah, his legs are from Joker.
Yeah, his legs are from Joker, but the arms, the trench coat itself is new.
Yep. This is funny. They keep calling this Night Quest or Night's End Azrael Batman, and it's not that at all.
Isn't that Kenner?
This is the Kenner repaint, or not the Kenner. Well, Kenner never did a normal color Hasbro Batman. They did this color. This is based on the Kenner toy. I don't know why they keep trying to pretend it's part of a comic. It never was. Mega Fig Big Barda. Exactly. You hear me, AR. It's cool. I might buy it from Nostalgia 6 because the original.
I mean,
toy.
I always like this color scheme, Raja. I really, I had this figure. I real love this figure, so like,
Yeah.
I don't mind maybe getting this repaint, maybe.
We got Batwing, so we're gonna filling out more of the Bat family.
Oh, I didn't see Batwing. God, now I really need to get that. My comic shop has the Clayface 3-pack, so like I might just get that because now I was like, now I really want to complete my Bat because this is specifically
Luke
Tim Fox.
Luke Fox.
Luke Fox, yeah, Luke Fox.
Yep.
Luke Fox Batwing because we previously got the other Batwing, right? Which I
Yeah, we got
Batwing.
I forget his name, David Zimbabwe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, this is actually
like,
the Luke one. So.
I love Luke. I love Luke Fox. So I'm actually really excited for that one.
Yeah, I wish his wings could articulate though. It's only.
Oh wait, no. If it's the same, I think it's the same mold as the previous one. It does move. They do articulate.
Well, I meant in the middle parts, so you could have.
Oh, in the middle, because oh, in the middle parts, yeah, because it only moves at the
yeah,
front
it's like
end,
the Batman Beyond wings, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I had to buy that new Batman Beyond just to fit in the Batmobile because the other one didn't fit. And then we got another Batman. They're starting to blend together. I'm just moving on.
I think that's like, I think that's like 9. Oh yeah,
that's
like
post Night's End, yeah.
Yeah, because those giant bunny bat ears.
Yep. We got Beast Boy, who comes with 2 different animal forms, a rat and a snake, and he comes with a piece of pizza because they think this is the cartoon one.
Beast Boy's a hard character to always do the action figure form in terms of power set, because like, you know, like in terms of package SHFs, like because like the classic one came with the bird form, and we had the snake and rant one here.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like because those brothers feel like you can't just get animal toy and there go Beast. No, you just have to paint them green.
You know what worked? Imagine X did a giant green Beast Boy gorilla that wore a backpack, and you'd open the backpack and put the regular Beast Boy figure inside of it.
Oh, that's smart.
Genius. Best Beast Boy toy ever made.
I actually really like the look of the figure.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's a good 1 year later Beast Boy when cartoon synergy kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
I love 1 year later DC where they're like, and everybody gets their cartoon costumes. It's like Beast Boy got this one, Tim got the red and black, yeah.
Synergy, ahoy!
Synergy machine. We got Mirror Master, who looks pretty good as well.
He looks really nice.
Yeah, he looks good. It doesn't look like he can put his guns in his holsters like the Mattel one though.
I mean, they're too big.
Metron, who actually comes with his chair. I
do love he comes with his chair.
I do too. I'm looking up at the Mattel one, which had a much bigger, more elaborate chair, but the fact this comes in the box with him and it's like, I think he's a collector figure. I think it's pretty great. No complaints there.
They clearly saved the budget because he's clearly just you paint the detail on his chest kind of figure, but like they saved the budget for the chair practically.
Another Deathstroke. This one's more of a classic Deathstroke.
It's weird. Is it? Did they forget? Unless this is based off a look where his eye's always black, because like where's the white in his eye?
Yeah, I don't know.
There.
I'm not a Deathstroke guy to know, but yeah, that was everything they showed. Let's see, what is it? There was something to say. Beast Boy is an exclusive, and it was listed on this Toy Arc article as UCC exclusive, and I have no idea what that means.
Like Beast Boy's exclusive? What's up with Beast Boy being exclusive? Always exclusive.
No idea. First time he was Walmart, second time Build-A-Figure, third time something. Mr. Miracle and Sandman are Target figures, so which means they should be stocked in insanely profitable sizes.
Target loves the Justice Society, I guess.
I guess so. I think they signed a capsule deal, and just McFarlane doesn't do things as capsules, so it just kind of, yeah. All right. Yeah, we don't know what the rules on guns are anymore because they can just put not a toy on anything and seem to get away with it. Or Warner Brothers should stop caring. One or the other.
I think that.
All right, let's go through. We got a couple things we got some weirdness to talk about. First of all, the Marvel Snap Marvel Legends 3-pack of Shauna the She-Devil, Sauron, and Rogue. The funny part is that it's weird because it's like, why did it have to be Marvel Snap branded? But I guess that was Hasbro going, "Hey Marvel, women in Savage Land clothes in this game. So if we're making stuff based on this game that makes you a ton of money, we can make these, right?" So whatever gets our way to get approval, and they upgraded Sauron's legs and torso. So
this has to be like a classic loophole. Like, oh, we can't. Oh, like they had to release Doc Ock. Doc Ock under Spider-Man 2, Andrew Garfield under Amazing Spider-Man 2 packaging scenario of the year. Like that has to be it because
No,
Marvel
it is.
Snap.
It 100% is because
Yep.
it's
Marvel
so
Snap.
ludicrous that they said that.
Because Marvel's unlike Rivals or Tokon or Midnight, Snap is just comic art. There is original art, but it's just based on comic designs.
Yeah.
Like it's not. There is original.
There's nothing to make this Marvel Snap besides the fact they put the Marvel Snap logo on the box. So I feel like it's just there to justify
naked woman.
Yep. Because Marvel will totally approve a naked man, but naked woman suddenly they have an issue with it.
So it's not even like they're that naked, honestly.
No, they're wearing more clothes than Kazar is.
So this is the funny thing about Shauna. There's the two interpretations where she doesn't wear boots, and there's the interpretation where she has boots. And so like this version is more modern, where they like give her more clothes. Obviously, Rogue's is pretty close to Rogue, without the head being all fugly. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what they did.
They've struggled with Rogue. They have never nailed
really
Rogue's head sculpt. It's always a little
Exactly.
off.
Like
I always thought
all I know is that this set is kind of wild since we did get what's his face as a single release and the Tiger as a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
Jabu. Well, I think it's not really because I always thought the Juggernaut Wave Rogue was pretty decent looking.
It was decent. I thought she looked too old though for the era.
Which one?
The Juggernaut one. Like
the Juggernaut. Yeah, the Juggernaut one's face doesn't look too great, but it was good at the time. And then the reissue of
the retro reissue is probably the best Rogue face we got. I think I like the modern Rogue though, the one that came with Pyro. I think that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, no, I really like that Rogue. Look, anything's better than the original Toy Biz.
Yes.
Marvel Legends Rogue face.
I will say though, if you want your women and you don't mind getting a dinosaur dude that could cure cancer but doesn't, $90 Comic-Con exclusive, probably be on Pulse later. Sauron also has energy. Sauron has an effect part that's new as well, which isn't in any of the
The only thing that worries me is that they specifically said if the stock's left over.
They say that every single year though. They say that every single year.
But I'm just having the G.I. Joe flashbacks that you were telling me.
Yeah, but that's just G.I. Joe. That's always been the exception.
Why does Shauna come with a shotgun?
You've not read enough Savage Land comics.
Yeah, I think Savage. I don't think guns would.
The thing with the gun is funny is that was
Savage Land gets wild.
The first time that gun appeared in Marvel Legends was when it came with Kraven the Hunter and the Kraven's Last Hunt set, and I was like, that was diabolical. But it's nice to see it back again. The effect part for Sauron I think is really cool though. It's like he's got his telepathic ways.
So,
only complaint, it's the same damn hands again. It's the same damn hands for the women. Can we get some new hand molds? My God.
They save money.
It's just C grips, fists, and those like weird posed hands we've been seeing for the last 15 years. I want more hands, okay?
I don't get why. I really don't get why Marvel Legends can't just make.
Every once in a while we get new ones like Bloodstorm. Bloodstorm, she had new hands.
I think it's the classical unless it's a character specific pan pose, they don't need to. They feel like they don't need to make another hair hands because it just because realistically.
Well, because the thing is that with the guys have multiple grips and the multiple open hands, and the women always have the same two open hand poses, and they're very limiting for a lot of characters.
Always force field.
Yeah, they're the Sue Storm Jean Grey telepathy hands, but then you have a character like Shauna, she's got no hand. She can't ride a tiger because she has nothing to grip with, right?
Yeah.
And there's a shot where the shot where they're crouched, and she just looks a little awkward because it's first of all, the torso's not letting her crouch, but her hands just super splayed out. I just wish we had some more variety. All right, moving on.
But the biggest question with this weird snap ruling, what other characters could they get away with? I guess if they just labeled it Marvel
Mephisto.
Snap. Yeah.
All right, G.I. Joe. They were supposed to have a fan stream, and then it got canceled last minute. So instead they just put things up for pre-orders anyways.
This was weird.
Yeah.
Weird. So, shall we talk about the blue elephant?
No, let's get through what they actually put up for order. There was a retro bat. Moving on. The Oz Striker, which we had gotten a render reveal of. Here's a couple shots of. I don't really want to spend too much time on this. See you later, Mr. Nuki. The Oz Striker, which looks nice. I'm not buying it. I'm tired of these giant vehicles. I can't do it. But it does hold 3 figures, which is nice.
You're getting a little too cynical.
I'm a little too. But the thing is, I'm tired of the giant vehicles. I can't get excited about this. The Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer 2-pack looks really solid. because Sergeant Slaughter is a completely new mold, including his arms, because his arms were pinned before. Now they're pinless.
Oh, huh. I never realized that.
Yeah, so they actually upgraded his stuff, and then Mercer looks pretty good as well. I like that Mercer has 2 different heads. When the pit it went up, I was like $60, and then I forgot. Oh right, Sarge has always been a deluxe figure. He's always been 35, so no problem there. And then we have what is it? Retro Green Suit. What's the official name? Let me get the name on here. G.I. Joe Trooper. So it's your generic green shirt G.I. Joe. He's got 2 different ethnicity options, which is cool. And he's got a bunch of weapons. So if you're looking to kind of fill out your G.I. Joe ranks with generic guys, you totally can. Ryan, how do you feel about generic G.I. Joes? Because I feel like they're fine.
I like them. Well, no, I think they're good because not only for army building sake, but like it's good to have generic Act 6-inch scale figures like this, easy to pick up for any displays because they could work with any line. No, like not even just Hasbro, just any line.
Yeah, anything in that scale.
Yeah, it's always good to have just like random people like this in a scenario like that. Like,
I definitely like it for that. I think on a personal basis, I don't usually pick up stuff like this just because like I'd rather have name Joes, but I think if I needed something for an army display, this is perfect.
Or like not even for just display, but like if let's say you want stop motion people, they could easily use these for just random civilians or just random people in the background. So it's always they're very multiple purpose. It's always not always army building. Always stuff like that, or like hell, like it could be just hey, I just want a cool military dude, but have no attachment to G.I. Joe the characters. So like it's good to have generic army dude A and B and such like that. That's why I really like those what they're called, the G.I. Joe Legacy figures, the fireman and all that stuff.
The cop that did not go up for order. that was the elephant in the room. There was no stream. They did not put the police officer up for order that they showed the week prior. And the images had leaked of the police officer, and it's all like police officers in riot gear shooting tear gas. And I was just like, first of all, poor taste any time of the year, but really, you really thought that was a good idea, just in general.
I wanted them for my Punisher to beat up, and I
wanted my Punisher bad guys as well, but they opted to not put that one up.
I always say that a cop action figure is not a bad idea, but like blue collar, blue t-shirt cops, I think it's work better than SWAT police officers because that's a woof.
We had a discussion in the Discord as well that like they want it to be like a patrol officer and a SWAT in the same figure, as opposed to doing them as 2 separate figures, as they probably should be.
Yeah.
And
I get customizability, like, cause that's always a kind of big thing about these legacy figures is customizability. Yeah. But there's a little bit go a little too far there, so a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit too far, and also it makes both versions weaker, right? So anyways, that didn't go up. We'll see when it does, if ever. They may just be like, forget we ever said anything.
Again, I think I think the biggest mistake is making it like it was just a blue collar. Like donut eating, like your Simpsons, like
or like you're like traffic cop.
Yeah, traffic cop. Yeah. I don't mind. I think that's a fine figure, but yeah, swap like the current
riot gear. I mean, like this has been an issue for years, and I got to say that it's been an issue for years, and I think it's in poor taste to do it at any time of year. I think right now it was like kind of that ironic timing that they're like, let's release the cop figure with the SWAT gear and the riot shield right when the cops are SWAT gearing and riot shielding protesters. I think, that figure will come back around because Hasbro spent money on it, but I think it might be a few months. I think
is it even more poor taste that they put the main head on the black head?
Yes. Every image I saw of that toy, I was like, did nobody think for more than half a second if this was okay? Because I didn't find any of it okay. So
what we really need is like those police officers that only ride like those bicycles, like the policeman that has like whistleblower and all the whistle and everything.
No, we don't want a constable from Britain with all they got is a billy club and a stupid bull hat. Get out of here! Next you're gonna
I mean, with enough videos I've been watching over the last week, that's also too violent of a toy.
Right.
Anyways,
they're gonna write me up for not having a cow catcher on British Railways.
So what you're
Those
saying, Soundout,
dirty ass.
instead of a police officer classified figure, what they need to rechange it to a park ranger.
Yes.
Oh
Uh,
god, so they can all get jumped by the Wendigo and Wolverine. Yeah.
And
yeah.
and then also, they could you could just throw it in your Dino Fury display.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarge. The way a Sarge dresses, you can kind of do that.
I mean, especially with
already.
this shirt look, yeah, he's already half Park Ranger. Yeah. All right.
Where's our postman Pat classified figure?
Good question.
The mailman.
So
What
Star
the-
Wars had a banger stream, and then they showed all the reveals in the wrong order.
for what? For once, for once.
For
it was
once,
good-
they had a banger stream, but it was also terrible because the way they showed the figures is they started with the biggest thing first, and then everything after that felt not as cool, even though it was all great. Like, I think everything they showed in the Star Wars stream was great, but they started with the big thing first, so it made everything else seem underwhelming. We're going to go in the opposite order. We're going to start with the smaller stuff and then end with the big stuff, right? See, we're going to be smarter than Hasbro. My ongoing agenda of get us more prequel Jedi is working. Here's Barriss Offee. Luckily, we didn't have to wait too long since Luminar, because Luminar just came out. Barriss is up for pre-order saying September. So, hype, because it's Barriss, everybody's favorite terrorist.
I keep forgetting it's Barriss.
You didn't watch enough Clone Wars to know.
I don't remember, bro.
Yeah, you would if you actually watched the show.
Didn't we establish that?
I did, but I don't.
Didn't we establish that Wheels is more the Trek? It's more of a Trek fan than Star Wars fan.
No, we established that Wheels knows non-canon Star Wars stuff more.
Oh, okay. Okay, when you meant terrorist, you meant the chick from like the final season when Ahsoka.
She was in the whole show from season 1, bro.
Bro, I forgot her. All right, I only remember for her that later half.
Okay, anyways. Hellfire's getting so confused. Yeah, so you need to get back on Clone Wars. I've just motivated you. All right. We also have Halloween edition Dathomir Witch, which is an Asajj Ventress doing her best Elphaba impression.
Is this the closest we're getting to 6-inch scale Wicked figures?
At the moment, yes. So yeah, she's got a witch hat. She's got a boglin like done up as a black cat. She's got a staff that's got a freaking broom on it. She comes with lightsabers, one red and one purple, which, like, get your Darth Revan on, let's go, girl. This is, like, the cool, like, legitimately, I gotta tell you, there's really cool stuff in the stream. Reveal the stream for me was Asajj Ventress Witch. I love the Halloween figures. I love the Halloween figures so much. And I thought that was gonna be it. And then they're like, boom, Ghost Imperial Guard. And I was like, yes, give it to me. And then they're like, boom. Oh no, where's the photo? He glows in the dark. And I was like, you're already selling me. You don't have to keep selling me. And they're like, oh, let's just roll this out more. Oh, wait, there's the Jedi Temple Guard. These images are out of order. Who cares? Jedi Temple Guard's cool. I think his lightsaber's too small, but...
Why do you look too cool? Like, this is like the Star Wars figure I want to get because he looks like a cool, like, Dark Souls guy or something like that.
They were like background guys, speaking of Season 5 Clone Wars, and then they became really important during Rebels. The lightsaber's too small, though. It should be a much longer... like, the hilt should be much longer. It's too tiny. That's been an issue with some of these Black Series. The lightsaber's too small.
Oh man, you're making this out of context, Lance, on that.
Oh, I love doing that. Just like the zombie Frankenstein monster looking night trooper with his long ass staff that we couldn't figure out where it came from. So it's the zombie stormtroopers from Ahsoka, but now they're done up like a mummy. And he's got, like, soft good bandages and stuff. And I was just like, I love the
dance. I love, like, I'm not sure that's meant to be a dance, but he looks like he's, like, doing a jig.
He looks like he's doing the Monster Mash.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this so much. I love all three of these Halloween figures are, like, must-buys. And everything else in the stream is just like, well, maybe if I can.
Is he the Monster Mash? Is he the Monster Mash or hello, my baby, hello, my honey?
Why not both?
Also,
speaking of Spaceballs.
Is that evil porg?
It's an evil little porg. He's got pants.
Oh god, he is a rebel.
Yep. We got the color version of the Ronin.
Wait, hold on. Wait, the porg's gonna be that's supposed to be a werewolf. Is the porg supposed to be a werewolf then?
Oh, he is brown on top, blue pants, fangs. Yep. Werewolf porg.
It's werporg? Like, so does a man become a porg? And
I don't know.
Wait.
I also don't know how werewookie works.
When it becomes a wereporg, it gets pants?
Yes.
The pants is
He does-
materialized.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, the wherefore because he grows pants out. No.
He grows pants. I love how weird these are. I have all of the Halloween ones, so I'm gonna keep it going because they're great. I think the Christmas ones are kind of dumb sometimes, but I love the Halloween ones. All right,
Usually
Not
just
very festive,
Nutcracker.
Soundout.
the Nutcracker's the only good one of the Christmas line. Star Wars Visions: The Ronin. If you didn't get the black and white set that's still available, you can get a color version, which looks wrong.
I want the color version.
He now just looks like samurai dude.
Yes, exactly summing up my problem with the damn short. But yeah, no, he looks good. It's a good pickup. He also has plastic goods instead of cloth for his stuff.
So he's already a worse figure then.
Yeah,
I think the
technically.
next time Disney ever says, "Yo, we're gonna do all anime," y'all gotta stop being all just samurais.
Let's
mean,
see
they-
how
they-
season
they-
3
they-
of
Jedi
Visions turns
story.
out because they're doing all anime again. We'll know in October. They have
You can
pants
still do
now.
Jedi stories, but y'all can't be samurais.
Exactly.
They have pants. They have pants now. They have pants now.
Exactly. How many images of the Ronin are there? This is too many. I want to talk about something interesting. All right, for a vintage collection, Darth Vader's TIE Advanced is coming out, which comes with a Darth Vader. I think
Yeah.
it's badass. It's badass. It looks so nice. It's got a removable panel, so you can swap in the melted, like destroyed wing that causes him to go into the free fall spin in the movie, and
Oh, this is pod racing.
This is
Exactly.
that's why pod racing and spinning in pod racing was an allusion to that happening later. It was foreshadowing.
I still love the day made Jerry watch the deleted extended cut of the pod racing scene.
Yes.
He didn't understand why that death is even much more funny with the extended edition.
Yep. Anyways, that looks amazing. And then also Vintage Collection is getting 4 snowtroopers put into a cardboard box. So there's that. Now let's get to the big news, which is the you're not seeing stills from the movie. You're not seeing SH Figuarts. Somehow this is Star Wars Black Series, Obi-Wan versus Anakin duel on Mustafar set.
What is this? What's going on now? Do we have an actual like cool looking Black Series release for once in a million years? Like
We have a Black Series release that looks like they're innovating articulation and design details as opposed to regressing backwards at a fast pace.
Why does this actually look cool? Like
I know, right?
Like I haven't done Star Wars in cool in so long. Like what's going on here?
So we have brand new Anakin and Obi-Wan that are not only more articulate, they have the Indiana Jones ball jointed wrists, so you get extra range. They have new lightsabers that are the proper size. They have new likenesses that actually look good. They have higher articulation range, so you can do their stripper poses. They come with woo-woo effects.
Because they still have single joints, but they have the range now, right?
Yes,
That's what's going on.
Yeah, they have range in them. They have softer material for the torsos. Anakin comes with the hover droid and a piece of fire for it to balance on. There's also the platform that has removable pegs for the figures to stand on, and there's also a fire base, so you can have the two of them just like going at it. There's clash effects for the lightsabers. There's alternate heads. That's Barris. We circled back around. Why is this like they woke up one day and were like, oh wait, we could make good figures from Star Wars?
They saw how much money Revenge of the Sith made in theaters.
I want this. I need
yes.
it.
$110 Comic-Con.
I want it.
Wait.
I need it.
And honestly, I expected it to be more than 110. I was actually kind of like surprised it was that low.
You know what's the weird thing when I think of this? Because of course it's from episode 3, but you know what? Like the vibe I get from this is. You ever played the Revenge of the Sith tie-in game?
Yes.
I don't know why. I get flashback at that boss because there was like a fighting game mode in that game where you could first clash like this in that game.
Yep.
Now all I need, guys, is to get a hold of a red version of the lightsaber and the most recent release of Ahsoka the series.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, let's do it. Woo!
So it is going to be a Comic-Con exclusive, but they're going to have them on Hasbro Pulse. They plan for this. The other thing is, I would not be surprised if Obi-Wan and Anakin, as you see them right here, with just their lightsabers, will come out at retail later. I think any of the extra stuff, the woo-woo effects, the extra hands, the extra heads, the platforms, that's all going to be exclusive to this set. And, $59 for those platforms, hands, woo-woos, heads, like, that's not too bad. That's not a huge markup. So I'm 100% on board with getting this. I want this. This is great. I want this even more than the Savage Land pack. And that, you never hear me say.
Well, yeah.
I
mean,
don't collect
no, I
Star Wars
want
at
this more
all.
than Savage Land Pack just because I just wanted Shauna. I didn't care for everything else.
I don't collect Star Wars at all because I don't really have interest in Star Wars that much nowadays. But like, it's Revenge of the Sith. I love Revenge of the Sith. It looks so
Yeah.
cool.
And the fact this looks like it's actually worth its money for once, and it's actually innovating the Black Series figures instead of going backwards. Like, these
You
are
can throw
both
your-
significantly better than the figures I have on the shelf.
You can throw your Anakin in lava to recreate the death scene.
Yes. Mutegi says, will it sell out or have enough supply? Hopefully it will have enough supply because they should be limiting these at the show, and they should have stock relegated for the website, because that Cobra Commander situation from last year was horrible, where they had limited it to 1 per person on Friday, 2 per person on Saturday, any amount on Sunday, and then they put them up online as limited to 5 per person, and they sold out within a minute and a half and broke the cart system. Like, you can't put that... if you don't have enough, don't put an unlimited number on anything.
I hope Hasbro solved the box office of the re-release Revenge of the Sith, and they should know, oh, people want this.
Yes. I would also anticipate that, much like the Cobra Commander, this, if it sells out quick, will get a rerun. And it'll come out a few months later, like on the rerun. Like a second production run. But they do that. They did that with G.I. Joe. They did it with... there was one Star Wars thing they did it with. I think it was the Darth Maul one with the bike. That got a second production run, and it was like a ships in September instead of ships right now. So I'm hoping they handle this well. I think this and the Savage Land set will sell very well. I think the Zartan, the Cold Slither set will also sell really well, but they need to make sure they have the stock, and I hope they're smart enough.
Do we even have our Transformers?
Oh yeah, it's the Void Rival set. I don't think that's going to sell very well.
Right.
I
love the Void. Oh yeah.
I love Void Rivals as a comic. I think that set's going to sit around. Like, you can probably wait for clearance on that. I'm not going to say that for certain, but I kind of have a feeling.
I did how that comes with a figure that's always been released already.
Yes, and that's the thing too, is that, like, right, the Savage Land set, you know, Sauron's a redo, but everything else is new.
Well, it's been years since Sauron came out.
Yeah, and it's way better. This Black Series set, completely new. The what is it?
Slitters?
Cold Slither, I think. Yeah, that's all new. Void Rivals is weird because it's just two new 3 and 3/4 inch figures packed with a guy that's already been released like 6 times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Void Rival fans rather had those characters in 6-inch scale than 3/4 inch scale. Especially
because they keep meeting Cobra Lot people, which if they make them in classified, then they're going to be 6-inch. So, I'm hoping those all be well stocked, because this is the first time, I think, since... I think the last time I bought a Star Wars Comic-Con exclusive was the Jabba the Hutt set in 2014.
Pizza the Hut.
Blade Raider says, why is it always Jetfire jacking up the price of these shared universe comic packs? I don't know. It just always seems to be the case.
If I had nickel, it's the consequence. If I had nickel, I would say they pack Jetfire and Joe figures. They'll have 3 nickels.
I would have 75 cents. I haven't watched the Phineas and Ferb revival, but that one gag where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time Candace called and said something was happening, and I get home and there's nothing there, I'd have $4.85, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 104 times.
Oh God, Peacemaker posted something in the comic channel that feels the Stephen Cass.
Oh boy. Hellfire says, what are you saying? I can hold out hope for a new, better looking figure of Cal. I think so. They tend to make more Cal Kestis than anybody from the games, it seems. So if you don't like any of the Cals they currently got, just wait.
Protagonist man.
Yep. I can't get a freaking seer, but we can get 100 Cals. All right, guess what time it is, guys? Bandai toys.
Ugh, rip the Bandai off.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be talking about the most expensive Bandai rollout of stuff I've ever seen. And you know what I realized part of it too?
First we need to go over the new stuff. We need to talk about the new stuff before we
we're going to talk about the new stuff, and then we're going to talk about the old stuff. One of the reasons why I think it hit harder is because instead of coming out like a week or two, like 2 or 3 figures a week, it's just like, here's 10 figures all at once.
I think what's worse is what's worse to me is a lot of these figures they pulling up come out the same month.
Yep.
Also.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We got some Kamen Rider stuff first, and as we talked about on in the past streams, I've stopped covering like the week to week. Here's the next Kamen Rider TTSC special. Here's the next gimmick item, because I just don't have enough personal interest to keep doing it. this week we got some good stuff that's like actually like things I care about. So, what a surprise! It's my show, and I get to pick what I get to talk about. All right, so why did I make a tab group? What does that mean? What have I done? Okay, anyways, we're good. We're good.
Soundout deleted the entire stream.
We're still live, right? Okay, we're good.
Oh.
No? Are
I'm
we?
just fucking with you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh no! Wait,
Okay.
no, we're live. We're live.
We're live. Oh, I forgot to retitle this card from video games back to Bandai. I reuse my title cards. I've been exposed as a fraud. I reuse my title cards. All right. So this is the craziest thing. Our final CSM main rider belt for Phase 1 Heisei is finally here. It's Hibiki. How long have we been waiting for this?
Is that right? Because wasn't like the first ever like
CS was Hibiki? Yeah.
Hibiki, yeah.
So Hibiki is the first complete selection. So complete selection modification: Henshin, Onsa, Onkaku, Ongekibo, Kaien Tsudumi, and Ongekibo Rekka. That last one's the only one I've ever heard out loud because decade card. So what do we got here? So first of all, you got Hibiki's tuning fork, obviously. It's gonna have die-cast metal, brand new mold, all kinds of new sounds, motion sensor, and it can read the disc animals. So the disc animals will actually attach and play sounds specific to that disc animal, which is rad. The belt set will also include the drumsticks, which will have motion sensors in them for swinging them about and stuff. And
please don't beat people with these.
Please beat people with them. Anyway. No, but yeah, the Bandai's probably got a thing of like, don't hit your sister. It also will come with a little drum pad, of course, from the belt. It doesn't grow magically into a giant size because it's not magic.
Well, we can't recreate the decade final attack.
You can kind of do it by just pretending. And it's got that, and then of course it has the belt, which will have room to store the disc animals, the fork, the drum, and the sticks. And the belt is made of synthetic leather, which once again they made a Showa product to just trial run something for a Heisei product because
it's not real leather, right?
It's not real leather.
Synthetic?
It's just like the Showa belts. They did real leather on Ichigo, and then they did synthetic leather on V3, and now they're doing synthetic leather on this. They tried. It was them testing it, right? So it's great. Hellfire says the funny thing about the Onkaku is it has 5 repaint options thanks to the movie. Yeah, it does. There's a lot of choices with the molds. So here's the thing: if you want the whole shebang, it's going to be 61,600 yen, which is understandable, I think, because of how much is included in the drumsticks and all that. But if you just want the Onkaku, you can get the Onkaku and the discs for 16,500 yen, which is not too bad, honestly. I've been looking into it. I think I'm probably going to get the Onkaku. I don't want the leather belt, as we've talked about. I live in a desert. I don't want anything leather or synthetic leather or leather adjacent, just like I don't like rubber torsos on figures. I will avoid it if I can. But I'm actually, I love Hibiki, and I think I want the Onkaku, especially because it comes with the disc animals. It makes it feel more worth its money.
What you're saying is you hate every Figuart ever because almost every Figuart is using like rubber parts now.
I am hating that they're using it on almost everything now. Yes,
even though they actually are actually using it for good reason.
They are. I don't mind it when it's something like Ace's shorts. I have a problem with it when it's like the Seiho Ultraman torsos. Because even without it being like Dyna, for example, I don't feel like that rubber's going to degrade the way Tiga's did. But I'm not going to pose his torso because it's going to get a fold in it. Inevitably.
Yeah, but because the Daima, like I've seen videos of the Daima, Goku, and Vegeta. Those rubbers are actually really good because they actually really improved articulation.
Yeah, that's like it's like Ace's shorts. Ace's shorts are like that. It gives it a lot of extra range. But I do have a problem when it's got to give you range without also being in a place where it's like if I pose this figure. And I can do extra range, but if I leave it there and then I pose it back like 6 months later, is it going to be permanently folded like that? Because that's been an issue with Storm Collectibles can do that to you. I have to be careful with Dimitri because someone had their Dimitri and they had him in like a crossed arm pose, and then they went and put his arms back, and the rubber did not go back into place. It just stayed folded. So, anyways, we're off topic. What were we talking about? Hibiki, right? Anyways, I'm looking at getting the Hibiki Onsa because I think it looks really great. And they sold me on diecast and motion sensors. That's the kind of stuff I like. You know, if you're making me pay insane money, diecast and motion sensors, right, guys?
I mean,
Yeah,
diecast
pretty
is
much.
fine, but I feel like diecast could something balloons the price.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like, and I heard 16,500 for the fork and the discs. I was like, well, it's a good thing it's also diecast. I feel like it was going to be that much anyways because of how much they spend on the electronic features. But yeah, I'm not getting the whole belt tech. I just want the fork. I just want this. It looks cool. I like it. I love Hibiki.
Maybe
All
like
right.
DuckTales. DuckTales that create earthquakes with it.
Yeah. All right. Also announced, but not going up for pre-order yet, so don't panic your wallets yet. The Complete Selection Modification Henshin Belt Arco version 25th, and the Complete Selection Modification Grungy Belt Gedo Rudo. So these have been announced because the Kuga 25th Anniversary exhibition is on. There was a picture, which was not supposed to be taken a picture of, which is why I'm not showing it here, that does look like the Grungy belt is not just going to be in Daguva Zeba's belt, but multiple Grungy with different faceplates, which now makes it understand it why it's a CSM. And Henshin Belt Arcal version 25th. We don't have details about what makes it different. My guess, wheels. You have the original, right?
Yeah.
Does it
Yeah.
have a spinning motor to do the lights?
I haven't looked at it in a good
It
minute,
does.
but I think it might
It does.
have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they did Agito, it didn't have a spinning
Also,
motor. It just was done.
the other problem was they didn't give it enough give to wear.
Okay, yeah, it had a flexibility issue too.
Yeah, because what happened was because of how it's so close to the side plates, you just
Yeah.
like can't be doing.
That's just the design problem with the Hibiki, the Kuga and Agito.
With
belt, just
Agito, they
how-
gave it a little bit of wiggle room on the plates so that you can kind of flex it
Mhm.
out. So maybe they'll do something like that. Anyways, the Agito one doesn't have a spinning motor. It managed to do the same effect, but with just lights running around. Instead of having to physically move the lights, let lights just do it themselves. I think if I were to take a guess, that's going to be the biggest difference, is that this is going to do running lights instead of a spinning motor.
I wonder if they're gonna, because Blazar, was it the Blazar Brace motor or was that spinning lights?
Blazar Brace was motor as well, yeah.
I'm guessing the spinning lights is somehow more expensive.
I think it
Then?
is. I think it is because you have to have more LEDs, right? So that they can be on and off, because it's essentially turning LEDs on and off as opposed to spinning one. It says spinning one string of LEDs. You have to have LEDs in the entire thing so that they turn on and off. I think it's more expensive because of that. Just a guess. I don't know anything about how they work, but that would be my guess, is that it's more expensive because you're turning LEDs on and off instead of spinning them. Now, that doesn't excuse the Memorial Edition Blazar Brace for not having not a motor. But, yeah. What was the other thing? There was another thing that did the LEDs. Oh, the Genesis driver, right? The Genesis driver had 100 LEDs to do a little, juice effect. Yeah, I feel like they're going to take the motor out of the new Arcal.
We don't have a driver, right? CSM yet,
No,
right?
they've just been re-releasing it as a super best. And they
Yeah,
put out a
so
high-spec belt.
I'm always surprised we'll a driver CSM will do that then.
That would be my guess, because I think it's just, the spinning motor does do its job, but the motors burn out. So.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Hellfire says more complicated program, I guess. Yeah, that also would be a factor, too, I think.
Also, they're paying the film because of frame rate.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was my issue when I filmed my Agito review. So, anyways, that was pretty cool. We'll see more later. They also have announced the Complete Style Gigantic Dragon Rod, which is the final Kuga weapon, because we got the Titan Sword and the Pegasus Bowgun.
Couldn't they name that differently?
Yeah, they named it Dragon Rod. It comes from the Akira Toriyama school of naming things.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool though they're finishing out that weapon line. It's funny, we haven't heard anything from Complete Style Gigantic in a hot minute, so.
It could extend.
Yes, the Dragon Rod extends, and you can add pointy bits to the end of it.
Ow.
Speaking of, at the Kuga exhibition, they had a cast reunion, which, cast reunions are not too uncommon for Kamen Rider, but they are when Joe Odagiri shows up.
Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's like having Eccleston back.
Exactly. Like, everybody was here, which is nuts. But everybody's here. And so there is a rumor and there is a speculation that maybe the CSM Arcal 25th is going to have his voice in it.
That's it.
Which is going to suck
No
ass for
reunion
anyone who
movie.
bought the original one.
Yep. So, white scientist guy's right there.
Great.
He just blends in well.
Great, looks like I gotta get another belt.
Yep, I didn't get the first Arkle. I wanted to, and I didn't get it. And I have the Agito. I've been thinking about getting an Arkle, and now that like there's a 25th edition, I'm like, ooh, that's probably the one I'm gonna go for.
And you know how to rip, and you know how to rip your ribs out to wear it.
Yeah, that would be nice too.
Mine was literally, even if I lost weight, I still probably wouldn't be able to fit in it.
Yeah, the Agito one fits me, but it is it's tighter than like the Decade one. It's just the way it's designed. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Hellfire did admit the audio guide for the exhibit is Joe Odagiri's voice. So if he did voice work for the exhibit, maybe he did voice work for. Oh, that's Daguva. Daguva had a human form. I forgot that.
Yeah, remember?
No, I just said I forgot it.
Because then they beat each other to
Fake,
death.
fake man.
I haven't watched the show in a while, so that's.
It has a whole media release on it.
I know. I guess I need to rewatch Kuga, or at least the last arc. The last arc's depressing, so I've not. The last time I watched Kuga, I stopped like 30 episodes in because it gets sad after that. Oh, he was. Oh, was he a little kid? That's why I don't recognize him.
A little kid was Agito. I think you're confusing with Bro.
Okay, Spindash said something of a little kid, but I thought that was Agito. Anyways, moving on. Now a long thing is that Ultimate Kuga was supposed to have weapons, and this was dating back to the Shochok Henshin figure actually including them, and it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be that all the weapons just turn black.
Yeah, so we actually have photos now of Ultimate Kuga with the Dragon Rod, with the Pegasus Bowgun, and with the Titan Sword, all in black.
Is this from during the time, or these are new photos?
I'm not sure, but because they seem like they're new, but you know, if they were shot on film, the qualities you can't tell.
Is this the classic case of like, you know, there appears in the show, it's like accepted canon, like it's one of those like extended universe canon scenarios?
Yes, totally.
Because it reminds me of like all all the different like non-show like gimmick forms, or the like
It's one of those ones of, the best way to explain it is it's one of those true hypotheticals that was like intended or you know, art guide that it would have been able to do.
Like
Spindash says people in Japan are saying these are new. That would mean they made new props. That's kind of impressive because they
okay, well,
yeah.
Okay, maybe not a reunion movie, but maybe like a Kuga reappearance in one of the modern shows at the very least, maybe.
Possible. Now adding to this, we have our first look at the Grongi form of the Rose Grongi. Which was kind of a thing they advertised this expo. We're going to finally show you what she looked like. She was always in silhouette, and we only saw her human form.
Okay, maybe there is some proofs of eventual like some kind of new Kuga, because they usually don't spend that much money on these kind of events.
The thing I can't figure out is like, you know, obviously I think they didn't make the suit back in the day and then just not use it because there would have been a photo by now. So they obviously made the suit.
It also looks too nice looking if it's been that long. It's been 25 years.
I mean, and then again, it could also be like they took the photo back then and never released it. But I think, you know, the fact that she's got an acrylic stand that you can buy in the merch shop as well, I think this is new. There's got to be something going on because they made 3 new weapon props and a new monster suit. So what really do? Common Jojo says they do a 25th of Agito. Maybe.
Oh, the real plot twist. This Kuga movie is the tie into Agito.
I was about to say, what if they wait till next year to release it, and it's a Kuga and Agito, and they're finally going to connect the shows?
So Kuga, Agito,
Shining Form Ultimate.
Kamen Rider Kuga and Agito hyperspace.
Yeah, something like that. Like finally connect the shows officially. That could be something. Hellfire says apparently they struggled to figure out how to design a Rose monster during Kuga's run, and so that's why they didn't do it. Yeah, it makes sense. It definitely looks more modern in a lot of ways.
Rosemon wasn't out yet for Digimon, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyways, that's the cool stuff from Kuga. I'm kind of curious. It feels like there's something more going on than just we did a museum.
And the Agito thing would only suck, but you know, Gills brought it on himself.
Hey, you know what? He can be dead off screen. We don't need him.
I mean, Suit's dead.
I
also,
that Suit's
yeah, Suit's gone. Like... Yeah, they're not going to remake that suit.
That poor Suit.
That poor Suit. All right, we're going to have to go through these Figuarts together, guys. It's going to be a journey of self-discovery of how small our wallets are. All right, so I got like you guys are going to hear the word price out of us a few times in the next segment. Just a fair warning. Let's start with the new stuff, because there was some new Figuarts announced. All right? You guys ready for this? Okay. So, first up, SH Figuarts Admiral Borsellino, also known as Kizaru, Future Egghead Island, has gone up for pre-order on Premium Bandai in Japan and the US. And he is 16,500 yen, or $165.
So first up, is this our first P Bandai One Piece figure?
No, because Gear 5 Luffy was, the Egghead Island Gear 5 Luffy was P Bandai.
Oh, okay.
Ace and Shanks were P Bandai in Japan. Just not.
Yeah,
here.
I'm talking about US. That's what
US wise, we'll talk about it because Gear 5 Luffy was delayed. Egghead Gear 5 Luffy is also P Bandai here.
Yeah, okay.
So, I gotta say that, good old Borsellino here looks good. When I saw the pictures, I was in. I saw the price, and I was out.
Here's the thing. With that price, how do you feel about the plastic jacket then?
Absolutely despise it. If you're going to be charging me $165 for a dude in a suit, no matter how tall he is, you better be giving me a cloth jacket.
Because not only the plastic, because so far the one, I don't mind plastic robes for characters like Gintoki or the Bleach characters, for example, like that.
And I don't mind it on Ace and Kid and Law. It's fine there, right? But the thing with them, and this is the thing with Kizaru. If Kizaru was around $100 and he had the plastic cape, I wouldn't bitch about it. But he's $165 and still has a plastic cape.
I think my problem with the plastic jacket in this case, it looks ugly. The back angle,
yes,
those ball joints.
The reason why it looks uglier than for example with Sabo, with Kid, and with Law, they all just drape down like a cape. They have a couple segments at the shoulders, and that's it. This is every jacket part has like joints on it, and it just doesn't look good. It's too many joints. It breaks it up. It doesn't look natural. And if it was cheaper, I'd be like, okay, but it's $165, so I'm like, no. The Akatsuki jackets are all cloth and wired, and those figures are cheaper.
I feel like you could sue for example, where I forget what's the proper term for those gold ribbon things on the shoulders are.
Yeah.
Those could be plastic still, but I feel like the whole thing could have been cloth because there's no patterns to print on. Oh, the back pattern, but that doesn't look hard to make printed on.
Yeah, that back pattern's not that complicated. They could have done it.
Clouds.
Yeah, the Akatsuki clouds are way more complex, right?
Hey, yeah. Dumb question.
Yeah.
Who's his dub voice?
Who's his dub voice? I don't know.
I'll have to look up.
Someone Google it, because I don't know. I haven't seen him in the dub. Well, actually, I have. He was in Film Gold. Or no, Film Z.
Yeah. Also, because
I feel like I met that guy.
Because Luffy comes with he comes with a DLC such for Luffy.
Yes.
Which Luffy and is unpainted. And
yes.
Come on.
It is. So basically, it's supposed to be when Luffy grew giant size and grabbed Kizaru out of the air, and so it's Kizaru in Luffy's hand looks great, but why is it unpainted exactly?
For wheels, it's Ray Hurd who played in the dub, who also voices Top in Dragon Ball.
Oh no, okay, yeah, no, because I was gonna say when I was looking at the guy's figure, I go, hey, I've seen that photo recently this weekend.
Yep,
so it makes more sense why I'm like, yeah, because I was talking with Ray Hurd a lot this weekend.
Cool. There also is an effect piece for Gear 5 Luffy to be punching Kizaru in the head, and his fist comes out the other side.
I do like that.
Yeah, I
do like that.
I like that.
I think does he also? I think he comes with DLC face for Egghead Luffy. I think.
Yes, he comes with the angry face for Luffy. That being said, I understood why Blackbeard was as expensive as he was.
He's a big fat man.
Big fat man, but he was retail, and I don't even mind Kizaru being P Bandai. I don't get why he's that expensive on either price. The Japanese price or the US price. I don't get why he's this expensive. He just doesn't seem like he has anything that makes him worth $165. I'm out. I was gonna get him, but no, I'm not gonna spend $165 on him. It's just too much. He comes with accessories, but I'm seeing a $100 figure. I'm not seeing $165. Shanks came with an entire small kid in a cloth coat, all the hands and faces you could need, ice cream, and a removable arm, and he's $82.
Ace was 80.
Yeah, exactly. Ace was he came with like more stuff. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Dabi from My Hero Academia is going to be a P Bandai exclusive in Japan. He has not gone up on P Bandai US, so he might be retail here. We'll have to wait and see.
He's retail here because he's on Big Bad.
Oh, okay, cool.
For $104.99.
He's 11,000 yen. Bandai has, and this is what we're going to just lead into our next conversation. Bandai has decided that their pricing is going to be in the US. 100 yen is $1. That's the equivalent ratio they're using, which is not equivalent, but with tariffs and with economic struggles in Japan and stuff, they have decided that Bandai US has decided that the figure is going to be priced 100 yen is $1. So if for example, this guy's 11,000 yen, being only 104, they actually gave you a discount. Kizaru was 16,500, he's 165. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah, which man,
sucks.
It's kind of it hurts.
All right.
I think he looks like a fantastic figure. Like as a My Hero fan, he looks great. I think the effects he come with is great, but man, that price that's a struggle.
Speaking of struggling on price, they showed the first Kaiju buddy from Ultraman Omega. The show hasn't even aired yet, and we're already getting our second figure art revealed. And it's the Kaiju buddy, and I'm scared to see the price on that.
I mean,
and the fact that Omega didn't even go up for pre-order yet in Japan, I think.
No, he did.
He did. We have pre-order for him in America now.
Yeah.
Did I pre-order him?
You might want to go check. Yeah, he's been up for pre-order for a little while. He was on the last round. He was in the Goju Wolf round.
Yes.
Oh shit! Then that means I probably did pre-order him.
He might still be available though. He's an Ultraman.
I'm saying I think I did. No, I'm saying I think I did pre-order.
Oh, you think you did? Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't know how expensive his Kaiju buddy's going to be, but I would be concerned. All right. Let me pull up. So now we got to go from that. So that's our new reveals. Now let's talk about, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, all these guys put up the Bandai US pre-orders for pretty much everything. Everything's up now. We're going to go through it because we've talked about this, and I said we'd follow back around on this. P Bandai also put up like 6 more figures. So let's talk about the retail stuff first. All right. So you got your Joseph and Jonathan Joe Stars. They're $110 each.
I want them, but
yeah.
Those are they both December also? Oh no, okay, Joseph's January.
Yeah,
that's at least semi-decent.
Also, on Big Bad, you have to put we have to put $11 down on these.
Like ugh.
You have an NRD on these because of the price. Wheels, did you order Omega? Did you find out?
Yeah, no, it was because you're the one who ordered it.
Okay, cool. All right, the Shenron reissue is $120.
I think that was like the original price, so that's not too awful.
It's not too awful. They put up the Shocker Combat Man, even though they said that he wasn't getting a US release, but he's up for $70. So that was interesting because they on the page on the Tamashi site said no US release for Shocker, but here he is, and he's normal price, so it's not like Big Bad's import taxing. Usopp is up for $75.
I mean, what he comes with, it's not too horrible. At least
I think that's why Kizaru threw me off too, because all the One Piece Figuarts have been worth their money so far. I think Kizaru is just like, yeah, I'm gonna be more expensive. Dabi's 105. We got the new Cyclone, which sold out, but it was $100. God, $100 for that. I have this because they basically just reissued this as Seiho. They didn't really change it too much.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna refresh my page. It's still available for my end. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a state thing or not. Then
it's weird. Sold out on my end. Anyways, new Cyclone's $100. Ichigo and Nigo are $115 each. Ultraman's Seiho reissue is $100. Bulma's bike is $90. See, Bulma's bike actually comes with more stuff than the new Cyclone. Like that's crazy. Bulma's $70.
I was looking at Bulma's bike. Whoops.
Yeah. Oh, Bulma's bike. Yeah. Bulma's $70. Reissue Frieza's $38, which makes sense because he's supposed to be a base price figure. The Metaphor protagonist is $100.
He sold out. Damn.
Yep. Ultraman Omega is $70. Jewelry Bonnie, who's P Bandai in Japan, is $90. She sold out on Big Bad as well. I snagged her though. She was like the one. I think I ordered her specifically. I was like the one. I was like, I gotta at least get Bonnie. $90 for Bonnie doesn't feel too bad.
It's the most reasonable, I feel like.
Yeah. $170 for the Metaphor Seeker. $95 for Human Okarun from Dan to Dan.
This next bunch. So 94 for Ultraman, 90 for Shin Asuka from Sakamoto Days, 900 for Kefka.
And I checked
and
it. Kefka's at 9,900 yen, which is also way too much for him.
Why does he cost that much? He's a basic figure. He's probably reusing like Reno's body. Maybe
He doesn't even come with more than. He comes with a gun. He doesn't even come with a rifle or anything. Like,
why is he priced that? Like, this doesn't make sense.
I went and
Like,
ordered
what
him on
the hell?
AmiAmi because I'm weak and couldn't skip him. But like, I'm just hoping the shipping plays for me. But
I love this character. But I'm not. I can't pay for that much. I bought the Sakamoto Day figures because I love Sakamoto Days.
yeah,
And they're like reasonable, not great.
they're
but
90
like,
each, right? Yeah.
I feel like I can work with it. And also got the I pre-ordered Sakamoto because he sold out.
Big Bad's import of Egghead Gearhead Luffy is 180. We'll get to the P Bandai US release in a minute. Yugi's $95.
I had to skip him because I pre-ordered the Goku and the Ochako, and I couldn't risk getting Yugi because they came out around the same time.
Yep.
And like that's gonna destroy my wallet. Like I want the Yugi, but I had to wait. I'm gonna wait on that figure
No, this
practically.
is the problem. By the time Bandai decided to give us a lot of the pre-orders they skipped out on or were delayed on due to the whole
tariffs,
all this stuff's gonna come in, like we were saying, either on the same time or piecemealed out. Because even though they'll release at the same time, by the time it gets to Big Bad, it's gonna be like different distribution. Meaning, like you'll get
I think that's the worst part of all these pre-orders.
Week 2.
Yeah, that's the worst part of all these. A lot of these pre-orders are back to back. Like they're all in a lot of these pre-orders are like this.
I hate it.
This batch, let's see, because like Yugi,
and it is the thing because we were talking about this when Bandai was announcing this. Is like they announce way too many figures each month. Like their output's insane, and we're getting 3 months of backlog all at once, so it just looks even more insane.
Do you remember back in the day when they were just as insane as this? When they first launched Figuarts, it was only just Rider, and Rider would be like 5 Figuarts a month with like 2 P Bandais a month.
Yeah, there was like 7 Kamen Rider Figuarts a month back then. Yeah.
Back in the day, you would get like all of the double base forms in 2 packs. Like, what was it? All in the same month.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you and Shuki back in the day just were like pissed off.
Yeah, we couldn't handle it. Like she got everything. I had to drop stuff. Like it was like, you know, they were putting out so much.
If you're collecting one line, it's not too horrendous. But like if you're like someone like me who loves collecting the Shonen Jump stuff, it's a nightmare. Like,
and that's the thing. I think back then when it was Kamen Rider and they were doing all those alt forms and stuff, like, you know, that was one line and it was just like too much. And it kind of feels like that way too sometimes because, like, for example, if you just did one piece alone and you just did US releases, you had Gear 5 Egghead Luffy, Kizaru, Usopp, and Bonnie all go up at once. That's 90, 75, 165, and 110. And like, 110 and 165, you have to pay up front.
Like at least like Demon Slayer line's horrendously priced, but at least they're not too common.
Yeah, if you're only collecting Demon Slayer, you just have $115 Shinobu to worry about.
Yeah, the same with My Hero. At least they're not like horrendously back to back. They're like, you know, Chaco's November, Dabi's December. Like that's
still $205 worth of figures.
Yeah, but like if you have a stable job,
you
can probably risk it.
What the hell is that Goku?
Char's $100.
Oh, that's the new 3.0. That's the new 3.0 Goku they're making.
That's the one they're not releasing in Japan, right? Like it's only in the US.
No, that's the Walmart Goku versus
Vegeta
Saiyan Saga one. This is the new 3.0
Super Saiyan.
3.0. What exactly is it supposed to be? Like a new version of the full powered Goku?
No, it's based off the Cell fight.
It's Cell games.
Cell game.
So it's full powered Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on the 3.0 body with the new hips and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The new knees. It's $38. Ochako's $100. Chainsaw Man is $80. I ordered Chainsaw Man because I actually wanted this figure and I missed him on the import sites.
Chainsaw Man's not too because I think the original Chainsaw Man was around this price.
He was like 60, I think. And this one's more complicated because he's got the shirt and all that.
So he's not too horrendous.
Yeah, that one I was like, okay, 80, that's fine.
100 for Machu.
100 for Machu is diabolical.
I could just get I would just get the figure high standard.
We're ignoring Durandal because he's an import. He's not getting he's not a US retail. We're ignoring those.
Do you want $125 Krillin with penis?
Yes, but that's you can get them cheaper on P-Bandai US. Yeah. So, anyways, going through all that, Now let's talk about what they dropped on P Bandai, because they also put up a bunch of, and this, I would say they needed to space out the P Bandai because you have to actually pay for these up front. With this other stuff, you could just drop pre-orders in and figure it out later.
The Bandai really needs to learn how to do just deposit system.
They do. They need to have a
They've
payment.
always dropped too many. They dropped too many.
So let's go through
they
it.
Even gave us a P Bandai US.
All right, so let's go through it. If you are a Kamen Rider collector, you want Seiho Hyper Gattack up on P Bandai US, $110. If you want Kamen Rider Durandal, $110. Okay, so I have a question. Why is a normal Figuart, like Durandal, who only just comes with his weapon in 2 sizes and some hands, $110, when Hyper Gattack, a Seiho, is the same price? Is one underpriced and one overpriced? That's what it feels like. All right. Then we had Kamen Rider Gav Blizzard Sorbet form. So if you were just collecting Kamen Rider Figuarts, that is $320 plus $10 shipping. Wait, these are different months. Hold on. That's $30 more shipping. $340 worth of Kamen Rider Figuarts that went up at one moment. All at the same time. That's a lot of money if you're just buying, and you're only getting 3 figures.
And you only have about 2 months to pre-order all this if it doesn't sell out.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months.
Mother of Ultra went up as the only Ultraman Figuart, so if you're only collecting Ultraman, you just gotta drop $100 on her, because you gotta pay for shipping. I do want to get her, but I gotta figure out if I can, because stuff.
And then I just gotta wait till next month.
And then if Kizaru wasn't too expensive for you already, Gear 5 Luffy, a figure we already kind of don't like, is $110. And he's a P Bandai, even though the first Gear 5 Luffy was retail over here.
Those running legs are expensive.
Yeah, the original Gear 5 Luffy was $85, even when they reissued them, and now we're at like $110, which just shows you how the price increases have been hitting. But yeah, so I was gonna get Gear 5 Luffy if he was cheaper, but no.
The form that supposedly reinvigorated and revolutionized anime.
I don't get that
5,
joke.
man.
You always say that, and I don't understand what you mean by that.
Okay, a lot of people in the fandom thought that.
No one does. I've never seen that take. You're the only person that says it.
No, I'm not. It was all over social media.
You say it, but I never seen it. I feel like you're just gaslighting me.
It's probably from people not like big One Piece fan and just no,
what it was like a lot of the younger kids. Like a lot of young kids, Ryan, one's younger than you,
I don't follow young kids. I'm an adult.
It was it was just something older anime fans were clowning on kids younger than Ryan, thinking this was gonna be greater than Super Saiyan and Ultra Instinct. They were like,
they need to get a life if they care what a minor has to say. Then.
Oh, it was just funny. These really bad takes.
I don't even that's the thing. I've never seen that ever. I've never seen that. Anyways. Muteki said there's a free shipping campaign for One Piece. Yes, if you order Gear 5 Luffy or Kizaru, you get free shipping, which is oh, thank you for saving me $10 on the figures that are marked up way too high.
I wish Bandai gave real free shipping deals that made sense instead of buy this, get free shipping on your next order.
I think one of the worst things they do is that you can't combo ship without going through a headache. Right? You have to, if you want to combine shipping of 2 orders, because they don't put, here's another thing, they don't put all their pre-orders up for the month, right? They don't put all the October pre-orders in one go so you can order them together, right? And then you have to combine it later. But in order to combine it, Bandai refunds you the amount of the 2 orders and then charges you for the amount of the combined order minus $10. That's how you get your $10 back, right? But the problem that I have run into with that is that, for me, my bank processes that kind of slow. So the last time I did an order consolidation, I had a negative balance on my account because Bandai had not processed the refund before taking the new money. So I was negatived out, and then I had to wait and hope nothing charged while Bandai's refunds process. Because for my bank, it takes 5 days for a refund to process, but only 2 days for a charge to process. And because Bandai did it at the same time, it screwed my entire account.
That's why I don't like pre-ordering from P Bandai, because it always just feels shady.
What they need to do is the shipping. What they need to do is just put these things up at the same time, so that you don't have to reconsolidate later.
Most Asian businesses play by weird, shady, outdated rules.
Yeah. And Bandai's part of that. So the thing is, I have to make sure that, like, if I'm making an order, I wait a little bit because I would like, I have to, I don't want to do order consolidation again. I think there was one time I had 2 orders and I was like, I could get $10 back, but I really don't want to go through all that again. Because
But that's why the only thing I ever purchased from Bandai as a reason is cooler. And even then, that felt so like.
I know their
for your
credit
brain,
card
man.
page makes you scared, doesn't it?
I know, it's like I feel like I'm gonna get scammed. Or something like that.
Yeah, legit. Of all these Figuarts on P Bandai, the only one I actually want is Mother of Ultra. But I'm also asking myself if Figuart prices have gotten to this point, do I even want to continue going from where I'm at?
It's
That's the
such a
problem.
headache because like I love collecting figures, especially the shonen stuff, because they're legitimately great figures. I think at the end of the day they are always like fantastic figures, but like, man, the prices are like.
I think
Ugh.
the prices have gotten out of hand. The new Gundam Universe figures are $35.
Dude, I went to the
Wow,
store
really?
and I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to the store and I saw Universe figures, and I was like so excited because some of the ones I wanted were there, and then I saw the prices saying 35, and I was like, wait, I thought these were
25.
only freaking 25, and
Yeah.
they weren't gonna get price increase.
They jumped from
Because-
25 to 35. And I'm just like,
I
well,
was
now they're
so
not worth
mad
it.
because I wanted it. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't come with enough accessory parts for the prices.
Yeah. The new
point,
the
just
new
get-
ones they announced, like the renewal ones that actually have like new molds and stuff, like those, I guess I would, I'd slide on some of those because they actually increase the articulation range and stuff. But like the old ones getting jumped in price is just like, no.
Like, I almost bought Shining Gundam, and then I remembered they didn't give it the actual super mode. They
No.
cheaped out
Like
and
I
didn't
mean,
give it super mode.
it's still a good option, and it's still infinitely cheaper than Rebel Damashi, also to say the least.
But it just
those-
like when your budget line becomes not budget anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I
what I
mean,
don't
it's
like.
budget in terms of Figuarts because that's the budget price of Figuarts.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's just one of those bummers. It's like, you kind of wish they could have kept the price, but
Yeah, it's why like lines like Anime Heroes or Jazzer's Total Anime are like I think even more important now because especially with the prices, if the prices are really increasing, it's good to have lines like those. Like,
and
oh,
it's really sad that there's been no new Anime Heroes figure in 6 months.
I know it's been a little like I because funny enough today I just got my Total Anime Bakugo and Todoroki today, but yeah, it's like going like what's going on with Bandai and their US stuff? Like it's weird. There's been
Well,
kind of radio silent.
yeah,
Radio
they've been complete radio silent. I think the last Anime Heroes. Oh, I forgot about Tiga. Thank you, Muteki. Let me go.
Oh,
Pull
because I know the new they haven't stuck at Target. I went to Target recently. They released they're the new Target exclusive. They released Super Saiyan 3 Goku with new like translucent hair.
Yeah,
As a Target exclusive. So they're not like done. Like they're still making.
but
New
the
stuff,
the last new figure was Mihawk, I think.
Yeah, I have that. He's actually a great figure.
He's great. I got mine in January. Like, it's concerning we've had none of them this year.
I got him recently, and he's a great figure. Like he's the most solid figure I ever gotten from man. Like his joints feel so fantastic, and such like that. And I'm like, what's like? I'm not sure it's a tariff thing or there's plant things are weird right now in Bandai. Might be that also.
New
just,
thick
like,
Tiga is $100 on P Bandai US. Anyone want some as well?
new Dick Tiga.
New thick Tiga.
I wanted to get power type, multi type, and I'm like, I thought it was gonna be retail. I didn't notice the P Bandai.
Yeah, they made it P Bandai.
The thing that I'm hating about Ultraman nowadays is that they don't sometimes put the Tamashii web on their little banner images unless you go directly to their.
Oh yeah, they don't tell
so
you to
you'll
be
see it on-
Bandai.
Yeah,
Sometimes they don't do it, or they'll announce
it's like
it
when
and put the
Hasbro
sticker
shows a
on
cool
later.
new Marvel Legends X-Men woman update, and then you forget that they all end up as Target.
Did you even got your Psylocke question?
I got my order in, yes.
How did you like? I didn't even know they changed the time to be 9.
I didn't
9.
trust that they changed the time. My skeptical ass woke up at 7 in the morning, ordered it, I ordered it, and then I went back to bed. It's like,
Were you like you were stalking the Walmart or the Target
still trying
site?
to-
Like,
Yep.
Found out. I forget. Where did you put mine on? Just on your card?
it's on my Target, yeah, my Target card, because like
Okay.
I couldn't put your card in. You don't have your card.
No, I know. You don't know my card.
Yeah, no, it was like, but it was like I woke up at 7 in the morning, did the because I just did like when they were like
Is there
it'll
any way
go
I
up
can
later.
put-
I'm like, great. I still woke up at 7. I don't trust Target. You know. And then I found out later that they said they changed the time, and I was like, well, I was already up in a nervous sweat anyways.
I wish I knew, because I wish I knew, but didn't.
Yeah, I hate the way Target does their pre-orders so much.
I hate how it's last, because I feel like it was last minute, because like they said on the stream, 1 a.m. I was ready.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, that changed somehow. Common Jojo says the Cycloid Target exclusive. Yep. I'm hoping because it's an anniversary line, there'll be a ton of them. But
I hope. I mean, they have a bunch of Xaviers.
they do. But that's the thing. Every time it's a woman, they can't seem to stock them well enough.
Hey, where's
Misogyny.
that frickin',
I
was gonna say, where's what's her face that I still need? Where's my
Carol?
Miss Marvel?
Yeah. Yeah, Black Widow was easier to get than Warbird was.
I couldn't
Which
get
ironic,
Black
I
Widow.
got Carol easy, even not Natasha.
Mhm.
I didn't get Natasha or Carol.
I got both. I paid $40 for Natasha because I couldn't find her, and it was after I. And it
Isn't that $10? Was that 20 or $10 more?
I think it
Because
was
I forget.
$10 more. She was 30. She was 30. That's right.
Yeah.
But I paid $40 for her on eBay, and then a friend of mine, like the next day, was like, "Do you still need one?" I found a bunch, and I was like, "I just bought one on eBay," and he's like, "Okay." The reason why I did it was because I went to Target and I found a Black Widow that someone stole out of the package.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
Never get.
"Fine, I'll just buy one on eBay." Like I threw my arms up and just gave up and got her on eBay instead because I was like, that was my sign. I was like,
that's kind of like the time when I went to one of the stores. They had one of the Transformers I wanted real bad, but because they had all those like open boxes, somehow when they were packaging and doing that, all of their faces, the paint for their like faces, all got scraped and chafed. So I had to like dig through to find one, and then I had to go to the next store, and luckily they had the frickin' was it Ratchet in stock, and none of the paint was scraped off of one of theirs.
yeah. Hey, do you guys want the
However they do.
Crunchyroll Blu-ray news? Hold on, let me check.
We got. Wait, is this breaking news?
Yeah. It's nothing we care about. The girl who
It's
leapt
funny
through
'cause I
time
found
is getting
out-
a 4K.
It's nice. I heard many good things about that.
I
film, so I'm
found
gonna
out
watch
some
it.
funny tidbits about Crunchyroll. I have to tell you about later. Sound out.
Okay. Apparently speaking of X-Women exclusive to Target, apparently my Jean Grey just got delivered, so it's time to wrap up the
That's
stream.
Which Jean Grey?
The X Factor one.
Okay.
The one without the yellow boots painted, because somehow
They sound
they
like
didn't paint the yellow boots.
Palpatine return.
Check my tracking on my choo choo.
Your choo-choo? Oh, I can check it. Oh, Spin Dash says, catching up on the video, someone may have said, but order consolidation is no more on P Bandai. I did not know that because I have not been ordering from them as much. Mostly because they finished the F90. So the order consolidation is not a thing they do anymore. They nixed it in Japan as well. Oh.
What's that question? What's order
consolidation? What we're talking about, where you combine the orders and then they have to do the whole refund thing. So they don't do that anymore. Okay.
Good or bad? Good or bad?
Oh, what you're saying?
I mean,
is
my
scamming
account
you.
won't go into negative trying to save $10. So that's good for me, but that also means that if you want to consolidate orders, you got to make them in the same cart. Then wait, does it mean that? Also, Wheels, your package is in. Please allow 1 to 3 days for updates because it's going DHL, so it's going to be forever. Domestic DHL is like the worst thing ever, isn't it?
I know. If it's DHL from Japan, it's here.
Yeah.
Domestic,
it's so weird because I heard like DHL, like people say, "Oh, DHL sucks," but like I had never problem with them shipping from Japan to here.
Yeah, if it's international DHL, it's here when it's supposed to be here. If
it comes quicker than like FedEx or like when I do a big batch.
Hellfire says we talked about it a few weeks ago. I'll take your word for it because I have no memory of it, but that's typical. When I do these live streams, like I forget half the stuff.
No, that's a fact, because when we do Hero Club Weekly, Metal will be like, "Oh, yo, so we're gonna talk about this that's been revealed, and we already got some dates on it." But then, like, I'll forget after a month and think it's brand new because it's like something so low tier.
It's funny. The consolidate orders section on the website is still there, but yeah, they no longer do it.
They still need to update that.
They do need to update that. So here's a question. I'm gonna go find out right now. If I stick 2 Figuarts that come out in the same month in the cart, do I have to pay shipping twice?
Probably.
Let's see. All right, Borsellino's in December. Let's put him in. I am on my face. Yeah, I'm on my face. Good. All right. Blade Raider says, I've literally gotten DHL packages from Japan for the payment finished processing. I didn't even get an
My
order
last
confirmation
damn.
email one time. And
Yes,
I already
know
had the
exactly
package.
what he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about. I remember I bought something one time, and the money didn't even show out of my account. Didn't even show that the order was processed at all on my bank card. It only said PayPal. That's how slow it was. Like, I had it, and then here's like, I forget which one it was. It was like,
oh, Muteki's like, what are you ordering? I'm not actually ordering anything. I'm just going to see if they're going to charge me twice for shipping on something. But I can't put Borsellino in because he's got free shipping applied, so that doesn't answer my question. What's something else that comes out in December? Is there a way to sort by release date? It's annoying. P Bandai, update your website, please. Stop making it trash. Somar, I don't really have a video for Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover comics specifically, but maybe I'll do something with that in the future.
but if you want to pay him $5 on pay,
video requests are more expensive than that. It's called I don't have a tier for that yet.
I'm making a joke.
And I'm also joking. I'm trying to... Why is, like, everything in its separate month here on this damn website right now? Like, is there something else in October? Like, I'm trying to find things in the same month, so that way I can see if it takes off the shipping.
What month is Mother of Ultra in?
October.
Find something in October.
I'm looking, and I can't find anything October.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, let's see. It's so hard to find, like, what is... That's November. You know what? I'm going to start throwing everything in the cart. I'm going to throw everything in the cart until I get 2 items in the same month that doesn't have free shipping. God, what is it? Not Luffy. Can't put Luffy in. He's got free shipping. I'm just trying to find out if they're still charging if you make it. Tiga's January? What? Person, where you make more videos about where to start in comic book series? Yes, totally. Those are definitely on the table. Not gonna put a timeline on it, but it's definitely on the table. Try Gundam, I might. Why is Gav Sorbet February? My goodness. That's December. Okay, there we go. Wait, hold on. I think there was something in December.
Order Guru.
Order Guru. Okay, here we go. I got 2 items in December. Hyper Attack and the Wings of Light set. Okay, so let's see if it charges shipping for 2 items or just 1. This is your on-demand science that you expect.
Science.
Okay, it is still okay. Shipping fee is $10. Okay, so if you order 2 items at P Bandai and they're in the same cart, you get it's still $10 shipping. So if you want to have a consolidated order, you have to make the order at the time. You can't go back and consolidate it later. So mystery solved. You can still combine orders, but it has to be done at the time of ordering. You can't do it later.
So good or bad change? Question.
Bad change. Because you should be able to combine later. Also, they should have payment methods, because my goodness.
Can we just get more like pile loot / warehouse stuff? More
That'd be
stores?
nice. Like, because
those are just really, those are really useful.
Yeah, because I'm looking at because I want to get the Hibiki tuning fork, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, Toku Collectibles, for all your faults, you do have a 4 interest-free installment option. like I could just pay this thing in $50 chunks, which would actually be much more beneficial to me than dropping the entire amount all at once. So hey, P Bandai,
If they gave us like shop pay options, I'd be done.
that'd be great.
Shulk, what's the older
Like,
P Bandai?
Mother of Ultra, $25, $25, $25, boom, done.
Yep. Hey, Cover64. Yeah, Psycho says, can you not use PayPal? You can. You just can't use PayPal Pay in 4 through P Bandai. They block it.
Yep.
So.
Block it.
I wish they wouldn't, because like maybe I would get Kizaru if I didn't have to pay $165 all in one go. Probably still wouldn't, but you know.
Maybe I'd have more model kits if they'd let me do that.
Maybe I would have Mother of Ultra already ordered.
You said the sound.
Well, I wouldn't,
Kizaru
because I spent,
Kickstarter
too much
campaign.
goddamn money doing weird shit.
Kizaru Kickstarter campaign. I actually like this idea.
Alongside the Blackbeard Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah. Should have tiers. It's like first we can afford Kizaru, then we can afford Blackbeard.
and then Kaido.
Zeltrax says he did a pay in 4 on Bittergab and it went through fine. I'm glad it worked for you then, because it has not worked for me anytime I've tried it.
Oh, Gab. I thought it was like a weird, like, what the hell's a bitter Gab? Oh, the
Kamen Rider. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You thought it was like a slur or something? What
No,
kind of
I know
slur
the
is
shop.
this?
I know the shop. Like, what's a bitter? It's like, hey, what's the Thundercats?
What's a
the hell is
Samoflange? What's a bitter gav? It's kind of like how like sometimes I say 2-word titles of things as one word and then it confuses people. Like when I say hot girl and apparently it sounds like hot girl, and I say it still applies. Yeah, we did that
Depends
earlier.
on the girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the hot girls have been hot girls.
Most of them.
Well, I mean, nothing would be Hawkman, a hot man.
We've
Have
never
you seen his? Have you seen his chesty hair?
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen them cast a Hawkman actor that actually looks like he would be attractive enough to be Hawkman. Like they always seem to get. You've gotten like 3 live-action Hawkmans, and one was like a professional wrestler who was like overly muscular and was in a variety show. Then we had the JSA one where they cast an older actor with a pot belly, and I was just like, okay. And then the one in the Arrowverse was just really like homely and average looking, and I'm like, no, you gotta like why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep making him look like a loser?
Oh no, I like homely. I like the sound of homely Hawkman for some reason.
Pretty much we need.
He was also way too short. He was like 5'8". I was really bothered by that.
We need a Hawkman with Henry Cavill's upper torso and someone else's head.
Yeah, somebody in that like size class too, because like he was.
Pretty much need Henry Cavill's body stats and
I like how Wheels is like Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's like I'm gonna make the perfect Hawkman by Frankensteining actors together.
And sound out
because Cavill's too hairy to be Clark Kent.
Well, is he a dad or sound comparing people to transport side classes?
Yes, we need a leader class Hawkman. We keep getting deluxe class ones.
You know who has the face of 90s Hawkman? So if you put the cowl over him with the jawline, what's his face from Mortal Kombat Apocalypse? He was in Highlander. He was in Armed. He was in a whole.
Are you talking about ratings actor? Are you talking about ratings actor from Mortal Kombat?
No.
No, you're gonna have to think. I don't know who you're talking about because I haven't seen any of these things you mentioned. Butani says, what do you think of Over and Master for Gav? I think they're cool. I think they're cool forms. I like how you can switch between them like at any time he wants. I also think it's kind of funny, though. He has to get 100 Gozichos into a little pod before he can use it.
Look up Brian
he's just becoming
Thompson.
A factory. Who is this?
Brian Thompson. He literally has the jawline of 90s Hawkman, but he doesn't have the full face. Like, if you put the cowl over him...
Yeah, I see the jawline. I see the jawline.
Yeah. Brian Thompson. If you see his jawline, just put the cowl on him. And then back when he was super, like, roided up back in the day, just give him some body hair, and bam, you probably got,
My mother's mandible, I say!
Blade Raider says, how's there not a superhero named Hotman? I think there was, and, like, there was a spoof movie. There was a spin-off, a scary movie that was called Superhero Movie.
Man.
It had Drake Bell in it before he was Spider-Man.
Somehow, Brian Thompson was in a Muppets production, and I don't remember which one.
I've learned that anybody that ever has walked on this planet was somehow in a Muppets production.
He played, I think, in a Jason and the Argonauts special as Hercules.
Oh, that makes sense.
Pretty much it was Creature Shop. So, like... Yeah, so I'll send you his
quick
page.
Muppet question, Soundout.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Muppet? What's happening with Muppet Vision 4D? Because I just learned that recently.
It's stupid they're closing it because there's really no reason to. They're like, oh, we have to make room for our Monsters Inc. land. No, you don't. You have 2 empty-ass buildings, like, on the other side. Build it over there. Don't be taking out Muppet Vision. Also, you don't have to take Muppet Vision out. You can just say they moved the show to Monstropolis. Done. It's there. It's fine. Second thing, if you're not going to keep it in Florida, move it back to California. You didn't even remodel the theater when you made it into Mickey's PhilharMagic, so just put it back in over there. You just got to move the props over. You're done. Good. Keeps the show going. And honestly, they said they might release it as VR in 3D, or like they might do it as a VR release, and honestly, that's probably like the best way to preserve it outside of just like the video itself, because then you can have like the experience of being in a theater. But without the practical stuff adding to it and the live actors and stuff, it loses a little bit of it. But you know, at least that's not the worst option. But yeah, no, seriously, there was no reason to take it out. They could have put it into California if they wanted to, because they just announced they're not closing that theater to build Avatar Land, so put Muppets back there. But
I think it's even more
Bob
unfortunate
Iger
for
hates the
the last.
Muppets is the thing I'm going to say with confidence.
I mean, it's super like worse because like that probably was the last thing Jim has to work on before the
Yep.
passing. It's kind of just really disrespectful.
Cast members were
doing it.
great though on the final day. Jim's daughter was the final person that they led into the
Oh
theater
yeah,
on the
I
final
think I
day.
saw that video. It was so
Yeah.
sweet.
They set her up so that they set it up with her so that she could be the final person to sit down for the theater, and I was like, that is sweet. Yeah, the thing is with Bob Iger, just seems to hate the Muppets. Like when Michael Eisner bought the Muppets and he was like working and doing Muppet stuff all the time, Iger comes in, he tries to launch them with movies. The movies seem to be pretty successful. The show doesn't work out the way they wanted to, and then he just puts them in a closet. And then they only just come out occasionally. And then Bob Chapek came in, and he was like, I need to fill Disney Plus with some stuff, and we got a bunch of Muppet stuff. And then as soon as Chapek was out and Iger was back in, boom, Muppets are not in anything anymore, and now the attraction's closed, and it's like the 70th anniversary of the Muppets, and they're doing absolutely nothing. They're doing absolutely nothing for it besides closing things. The city of California made a declaration of a Muppets Day, and that was more celebration of the Muppets than anything that the Disney company has done.
What you're saying is we should go kill Iger.
His contract's up next year. We can just wait.
Can I just kill him now?
Yeah, if you want.
No.
Yeah, Silefire said, does Bob Iger hate Muppets or just hates you directly? A little both. An attack on the Muppets is an attack on me.
I think that's a lot of people. You attack
Don't
the
forget,
Muppets,
attack on
you
Wookiees
fight.
is an attack on us.
Like, the Muppets should be in everything. Like, there's no reason for them... There's no reason for the only Miss Piggy appearance in the first half of 2023 to be her appearance on Drag Race. Like...
Wait, what?
Miss Piggy was a
That
guest
was
judge
still a
on Drag
thing.
Race. It was amazing.
That was still a thing. I remember sitting there, and I'm like...
It's the
"Seth,
only
what
episode of
Muppet
Drag
thing are
Race
you
I've ever
watching?"
seen. Like, the fact that Jeff Keighley uses the Muppets more than Disney does should just tell you the problem with Disney and the Muppets.
That's the really concerning thing, because it's always the best part whenever Jeff Keighley is like, all right, we got some Muppets here.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
one
like,
thing we
"I
can
guess
all.
I'm
That's
watching."
the only one thing people like. Okay, Jeff.
It's the
this is
only
one thing
reason
we
I
like
watch the
about you.
Game Awards. Right? Like, you have to lure me in with something with Game Awards, and it's the Muppets. But no, it is absolutely... You know, people have been talking about, like, oh, we gotta save Sesame Street, and we did, right? Like, Netflix saved it, it's gonna air on PBS still, and like that, but I'm like, can someone
God
save the
Netflix-
Muppets while we're at it? Because
Netflix saved it,
we're in a
because
worse
my
spot.
God.
What were you saying?
I'm like, glad Netflix saved it, because my God,
I know.
HBO was horrible.
I mean,
Now, if Netflix and PBS can have the balls to put humans back into Sesame Street, because every time I've just watched it just to see what the hell they be doing nowadays, no humans except the guest actors.
yep. Yeah, the last Muppets production we got was in 2022. And it was the Muppets Mayhem.
I thought that was
Oh, yeah, no, it was
What was-
2023. It came out in 2023.
when was the Halloween?
That was in
The Haunted
2021.
Okay.
Muppets Haunted Mansion was 2021. Muppets Mayhem was in 2023. That was the last Muppets production. Everything since it's just been guest appearances. Also, Muppets Mayhem went through a horrible post-production cycle where they gray tinted the entire thing.
What the hell? Why did Greg tint?
Yeah, because people were like the promotional stills that came out, bright and colorful. Actual show, gray tint, and nobody could figure out what it was.
Why would you put the
But let's
Snyder?
not
Why
forget
we?
they acknowledged the Feebles.
Yeah, I don't know why they did the Snyder filter on the Muppets Mayhem. I don't either. And they're like, it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? I don't know, because it looked like ass. And that's why I feel like it was self-inflicted, because that was post-Chapek. All right? Iger came in. Anyways, LPH says, who's worse, Bob Iger or David Zaslav? Look, Zaslav doesn't lie about being a monster.
He is a monster.
Yeah, both of them are. Both
I'll never forget.
Both
I'll
of them
never forget
suck, but
college.
David Zaslav will not lie to you and pretend like he's doing good. Bob Iger will
never
put on a
forget-
smile and be like, oh, I'm fine, but when he's like, you know, during strikes, he's like, I'm going to make sure everyone's bankrupt before the strike ends.
I'll never forget that weird college thing he went to, and everyone was like, "Boo!" Dude, David Zaslav.
Yeah, no, that was great. You know who didn't get booed? Kermit the Frog, when he did a
Yep.
commencement speech last month.
Kermit the Frog.
MJ Klein, Big Bad Toy Store should have the Diamond Select Muppets figures, which
Get them-
Diamond Select Toys
get
is
it-
dead, so get them while you
Yeah,
can.
get them now.
If you want Muppets figures, get them now. Because they won't be reprinting them. Those are good figures. We still didn't get our freaking Pepe. Pepe got canceled again. Fourth freaking time.
Let's hope NECA could pick up the license.
I hope so, because their Sesame Street figures are beautiful.
You know what? Like, company I actually think they could do the Muppets pretty good because of their other line. I could think Jax could do the Muppets really good because
They could, yeah. Their Simpsons stuff's so good, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to see them do the Muppets.
Yeah, that'd be great. A Blade Runner says, I watched Fantasia 2000 last night and finished Muppets Tonight this morning, and now I wonder why a Muppet was not one of the guest hosts in Fantasia 2000. That is a good point. I never thought about that, because I never watched those two in succession like that, but I
know why.
Yeah.
I know why a Muppet wasn't in Fantasia 2000. Muppets had already started going into remission by the time 2000 was in production.
Well, that's because when was the Disney buyout? I'm on the Muppets Wikipedia page. I can answer that question.
So Disney had them throughout the early 90s. So that's why we had the Muppets Christmas.
Actually, no. Disney did not buy them until 2000. It was a partnership before then. They bought them in 2000. And, yeah. Which was 14 years after the negotiations began because there was a lot of back and forth. But, yeah, in 2000 was when it started. They didn't actually get the Muppets until 2004. So, yeah.
When's the Muppet viewing guy sound out?
When Santa can stomach the swamp ears.
Here's the thing. So, here's a question. Does a Muppet viewing guide encompass all the scripted film productions? Or does it encompass
like
everything?
Like Muppet Babies and stuff like that.
Muppet Babies, that's not too far off. I'm talking like Miss Piggy on Drag Race. Robbie Williams confessing his love for Miss Piggy to help Kermit get a day off. You know, the Muppets appearing on the Game Awards. The Muppets appearing at the Oscars. Do all of these things also count as Muppets media because the Muppets are essentially actors who appear in different material? Or is it only going to be the scripted released productions?
It depends how much you love. It depends how much you love the Muppets, Santa.
Because I gotta tell you, a deep dive into all their random celebrity appearances would be amazing, and I would be all over that. It'd also be like an hour and a half long, but I think people would be into it.
Because you'd have to film it like a fake documentary talking about their early years were here making commercials for bread, coffee.
Wilkins coffee. Yes.
And
the opening skit is like, nah, I don't want to drink Wilkins coffee. Now gets shot off camera by Wilkins.
Commercials, appearances, all that stuff. Like, that could be fun. Like, yeah, we could do it like a documentary style. Because, I mean, we got to get Kermit with the tea. That wasn't even in a Muppets production. That was in a Lipton commercial.
Magic sound like I have exclusive drama about Miss Piggy on Drag Race or something like that. That
would be funny, because I mean they slow rolled that because RuPaul was in like 2 different Muppet shows before that happened. So RuPaul and Miss Piggy established like good friends. AR said, "Don't forget the defunct TV Jim Henson series of videos." Yeah, but that goes into the Jim Henson viewing guy, which is a different thing because. We have to have some restriction. If we do all Muppet and Muppet style things, we'll be here for days.
Have you even seen Dark Crystal?
I have seen the movie, but I never watched the show because I started watching the show and I got a little bored. It was a bit too slow for me, and I never went back to it.
I'm up to see about you.
You can see about me. I can see about you not remembering characters from Star Wars that are important.
Look, sound out.
She was in that final arc, and that was the most important role she had.
Sound out.
Yes.
Jim Henson comes first before Star Wars. We all know that.
Oh yeah,
it's true though.
It's the order of blood packs. We understand this.
Because without the Muppets, there would be no Yoda.
Yep.
Because Yoda is a Muppet, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. Yoda is a Muppet.
It's just Frank Oz under a table.
Blade Raider. Blade Raider. Also, Penn and Teller in both Fantasia 2000 and the Muppets Tonight's episodes I watched.
I just got
Yeah.
reminded of my favorite gag in Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur, wherever Lindella and Stacy lie, they just go Muppet.
Yes.
You ever done that animation like storyboards? Like,
whoever got that should be given like a check for $500,000. Like,
oh boy, like great idea.
I love how they're just it's such a great visual gag. Yeah, anytime they're lying, they turn into a Muppet. AR says, would that include the Muppets tribute for Jim Henson? Absolutely, that would absolutely be on the guide. Do I include the comics?
Yeah, there's a lot of Muppet comics out there.
Muppet Babies has a whole omnibus that I own.
And there's the new Muppet Baby show. That's actually pretty good. I actually seen episodes of that.
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah. Spin Dash says, is Yoda actually a Muppet or a Jim Henson Workshop creature? No, but he was played by Frank Oz, so that makes him a cousin.
So he's a Muppet.
He's a cousin. He's a cousin the way the Dark Crystal characters are cousins, and the Labyrinth characters are cousins.
And the Fraggle Rocks.
And the Ninja Turtles are cousins.
Yep.
And the Five Nights at Freddy's characters are cousins.
Yep.
And the Xanathar puppet at the Universal Fan Fest D&D walkthrough event is a cousin.
Yeah, screw the like cinematic universe. What are Muppets? Like, what's the Muppet cinematic multiverse?
That would be
Christmas
great.
special.
MJ Klein, I think Sesame Street Muppets would have to be their own guide. I think we'd have to keep it like to Kermit's like troupe. Kermit's troupe of actors would have to be like the focus, right? Because otherwise, it's going to get out of hand. I mean, it's already getting out of hand. I'm like, let's do commercials and public appearances.
The problem with the Sesame Street Muppets are they just exist as being like a bunch of guys who live in New York City.
Well, first was the timeline is it was first Sesame Street with Kermit being part of Sesame Street, then Kermit splintered off to form the Muppets, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, this is how they explained it.
Because the way I always, interpreted it, and the way that like they kind of explained it in the Jim Henson exhibit I went to a few years ago, is that like it was supposed to be that like the Sesame Street Muppets were for kids, and the Muppets were supposed to be for adults. And then the Muppets themselves kind of ended up becoming more family than just straight adults. Because the first Muppets pilot as a special was called The Muppets Sex and Violence. Like it was directly aimed at being adult comedy. And then it was because of the puppetry of it, it ended up slipping into all ages family.
What do you think of that? Why do you think that Muppet style Punch Out game that was shown off at Summer Game Fest?
I thought it was neat, but I also didn't feel like it had the vibe. The vibe was off.
Yeah, same. Every time like some kind of like thing with the tribute the Muppets, they always go more like Sesame Street with them being more fuzzy, which I'm never a fan of because like that was only like certain characters that were like fuzzy like that. But most of the Muppets are more like fuzzy, but not foofy.
Just so everyone knows I'm not lying about the Muppet Show's pilot being called Sex and Violence. Here's the Wikipedia page.
Is it like how the pilot of the Powerpuff Girls is called What Best Do?
Yes. Yes. Spindash says with Lego Idea Set review tomorrow, which is including a Muppet Theater. That'd be great.
Oh, did you get any the Muppet Lego? Wasn't there any?
They were in blind bags, and
yeah. Did you get those or no?
I didn't because I can't deal with blind bags.
But the Muppets sound out.
I know. I ended up buying like 9 One Piece keychains the other day to try to get Law, and then I felt really stupid because the first one I opened was Law.
Did you get Robin at least if she was in that set?
No, she wasn't in that set because it was Wano based. But I got Law. I got Law a second time, but the first Law I got, his arm was glued in the wrong place, so I technically have 2 Laws that look different. I got Kaido, I got Luffy, and I got Zoro and Sanji. Oh, and I got Kid. Kid was the last one. So. But I just wanted Law, and then I was like, the first one I pulled was Law.
For Law.
I like Law. Counter 64 says, speaking of pilot, what are the chances of seeing the Bioman pilot? Outside of what's been released, we're never seeing any more of that. That's no one. I didn't want to say that. That was mean. I'm just gonna end the statement as no one.
There's only one way to get it. We gotta kill people for it.
Yeah, and that's not happening.
I mean, I would do it if I could.
Mission Impossible style into Saban's banks.
Exactly.
That could be fun. Mutegi says, why can't anime One Piece do middle fingers like manga? Because of Japanese TV rules.
That's why they had to take out. That's why they had to cut Kid Trunks' finger in the Bio Broly remasters.
Yep. The rules used to, like, because Dragon Ball, you look at original Dragon Ball Z, they have a bunch of middle fingers and they're not in Kai's because the
Is it TV?
TV
Is it time
standards
slots
changed.
also?
They
And also time
changed.
slots.
They changed the rules for the time slot those shows would air in.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think I'm currently watching JoJo Part 3 with my partner, and I'm assuming one of the laws is because they usually how they do JoJo the censors in JoJo they just put a giant black void where things need censored, and JoJo smokes, but I'm guessing one of the rules is you can have a minor because JoJo's a minor smokes, and it just is a mysterious black void in JoJo's mouth every time he smokes, which is funny to see.
That is pretty funny. Like, it's just like the way they just have to randomly censor it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Couse!
I came in because I heard JoJo.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
I kind of wish if I kind of wish Couse had played like the Pillar Man theme when he said her dad showed up.
I love it. We were talking about JoJo. We're talking about censorship due to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blu-rays don't have it. Is what I came in to say.
Yeah.
Mm.
I wish they did with One Piece, but yeah, One Piece doesn't fix it for the Blu-ray.
But yet they could get away with the curvy woman. Gotta love gotta love standards. we could
If
have
they were
women
naked,
that are
they would just have weird steam around them.
yeah, I love One Piece. Nami's like almost naked half the time, and yet she gets away with it.
You can get a sexualized 12-year-old on screen, but if you put a middle finger up, that's it.
Yep.
Or smoking. As
How do they do Smoker in 4 Kids? Is it just
His mouth just hangs
scenes?
open by like a 2-inch gap. He
What,
just
like,
he
did
just
they
talks like this all the time, and it looks really awkward.
like a Muppet, like a Muppet,
Like a Muppet, yeah, it's really funny.
I mean,
Did-
Oda
did
draws
they have
his
to
characters like they were Muppets.
Yeah, no, that
Did
man
they
is like, I'm doing cartoon comics, thank you, and everyone's like, it's so serious. I'm like, it has
Did they
serious
rename-
themes, but like the art style is part cartoon.
Did they rename Smoker in the 4 Kids stuff?
Yeah, his name is Chaser.
Chaser.
Little on the nose considering he was. I mean, they renamed Ace. Okay, they renamed Ace for
Wait,
some
why?
reason. I don't
Wait,
know why. They
why?
renamed him Trace. I don't.
Trace.
Case Utranada.
Yeah. Kama Jojo says, "Is the middle finger a bad sign in Japan?" I mean, it's supposed to be an insult sign everywhere. That's why, like, you have Law flipping off Doflamingo when he goes to kill him. But
there's something JoJo related about that I gotta tell you.
yeah, isn't there a scene?
And Jolene tells you
Yes.
here's different middle fingers all around the world.
Yes.
And she's like, here's Egyptian style, here's American style, here's Italian.
I know the scene you're talking about. That.
There's a funny thing in England. If you use the middle finger in England, you'll get censored on TV. But if you use 2 fingers in a V shape but face it away from somebody, it doesn't get blurred. But it means the same thing.
So like how you can say asshole, but you can't say asshole.
Yeah, no, exactly. But they
for
always.
some reason, you can't. That one.
There was this time Tignataro was on Stephen Colbert, and she was like, "You ever think about how whenever they censor asshole, they don't censor ass, they censor
Always.
hole?"
Yes. What's up with that?
Yeah. It was the funniest bit because she just like, yeah, and when you see it when it's played back, they'll be censoring hole and not ass.
Yeah. I still wonder about that. Like, wait, which part's the offensive part again?
I know it's like when they don't censor damn, they censor God.
Yes, same thing.
And it's like, what is it? It's like the ass is a curse word, but it's not a censorable curse word. And damn is a curse word, but not a censorable curse word. So you have to curse the context that makes it worse or something. It's so bizarre.
Or hell
So bizarre.
is like it's always weird with hell because like you can't mention the place hell, but like to say oh hell, oh god, or like oh hell.
Yeah,
it's fine sometimes.
Hell's bells is an appropriate phrase, but you can't tell somebody to go to hell.
Yep, for some reason.
It's so bizarre. Kyler64 said, remember when everyone thought everyone thought in the Sonic OVA he was sticking up the middle finger? He was in the Japanese OVA version. They added it to be like 2 fingers, or they switched. I think they switched it from his middle finger to his index finger in the English version. But in the original Japanese, it is a middle finger. He was taunting, and it was an OVA. They had no rules. It's also why there's the scene with the friggin' Eggman babies. That OVA has a lot of fetish content in it.
You ever think how Homer flipping off looks weird because he has only 4 fingers?
Yes, it's like a Ninja Turtle flipping somebody off. You'd never know.
Yeah, no, it's just him pointing.
They'd just be like,
it's just him
"Rah."
it's just him pointing at you.
Nightcrawler's a good Catholic boy, but he can't flip anybody off. They'll never know.
Yeah, which
I
one
lo-
is middle?
Yeah. That's why I feel like Nightcrawler would do the backwards V instead.
He would give you an up yours.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know what? Speaking of Nightwing, I saw a great like gender bent Nightwing artwork, but it's like a gender bent meme. It was pussy gray daughter.
Instead of Dick Grayson.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good
God,
one.
That's great. Oh, that's good. So good. What was it? Counter64 said, funny enough, you put a thumbs down in Japan, it means go to hell from what I heard. Oh, Gladiator must play different for them over there.
Is that why Samus does the thumbs down thing under M? I just realized that then.
Probably. Yeah, no, that actually
He
makes
did
sense.
that a lot.
Yeah. Blade Raider. Wait, Ultraman Zero does the backwards V. I have a figure of him on my post. I think his is like
Ultraman
this,
hates
right?
his-
Like his
It's a piece, you know.
but it's like across his chest like this, right?
Yeah.
He's not doing
Mhm.
this. Like he's not just like, you like this, but yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's been funny. I've been learning about like so many things lately, and that was just one of the things I learned. It's like you can get away with it. There's a Wikipedia article about it. Anyway.
We've been going so long. We're just talking about.
We went on a whole tangent about Muppets, and it led us to just flipping off the camera without flipping off the camera. I'm into it. Yeah. You guys want to plug anything? We don't have to plug anything. We can just pretend we don't exist for a week.
Because I'm not even sure if I'm streaming tomorrow. I'm still.
Should we just tell people to follow you anyways?
Well, yeah, I'll be streaming Friday. Yes, please.
There you go. There you go.
Follow Fighter Cows
Follow Fighter Cows.
on Twitch.
You can also follow Hero
Gotcha.
Club on Twitch.
And
Get
Hero
the
Club.
notifications.
I believe.
Club for life across social media.
Actually, will I be there
at hero-club.com?
Yeah.
on Wednesday?
I mean, are you going to be there Wednesday?
I don't know.
For you? Well, that's up to you. If you're not showing up, then we can't talk about it. It would just be me telling metal.
MJ Klein
Gary's
says,
like, wait,
wonder
am I
why.
showing up? I thought you were.
Yeah. MJ Klein says, wonder why USA doesn't censor everything like Japan does in some movies. It's because Japan's like rating system is a lot stricter than ours. Ours has a ton of wiggle room.
I mean, essentially the video games. You want to take a
Yeah.
you want a deep dive look at the video game censorship. Resident Evil in Japan is a totally different game, practically.
Blade Raider said, "Oh, good. It must be 20,000 years too early to be an insult with the V." Cower64 said Garfield may hate Mondays, but they do have their benefits. The stream being one of them.
No, link the actual website since the website's back up.
I did.
People can
I
still
just linked
visit
it.
the website.
We just redesigned the website. Go check it out.
Check it out
Hero-club.com.
right now.
And Spindash says the first stream I've been here mostly for the whole thing in months, and it's been nice. AR said, "Have a good night, everybody." I think that's a good sign to leave on.
Exactly.
Did Ryan plug? I forgot. I was zoning out.
Follow me at Dark Horse 643 on YouTube and Blue Sky. I do art commercial on the one you see is very channel. You want any, feel free to DM me near Blue Sky or Sound Discord protocol. Link in the description below.
And this week there'll be no videos because I have nothing planned. Just kidding. No, there's gonna be videos. Last week I did not plan anything in advance. It was kind of liberating to just wake up and be like, "What video am I making today?" I'm gonna do that again this week, I think, because I just don't feel like I got stuff coming in the mail. Like I got charged for Star Convoy. He could be here any day. In the next 3 weeks, it's coming from Pulse.
It's like I like you make it sound like you're like a sitcom like daily strip character. It's like, oh boy, what am I gonna do today?
legitimately, like full honesty, that was like on Monday last week I planned out Tuesday and Wednesday's videos, and then I woke up on Wednesday and I was like, what's tomorrow's short gonna be? And it kind of felt like I was a sitcom character. It was actually
what is Soundout the newspaper comic?
Soundout the newspaper comic. If it was anything like Thursday, it was 3 hours of writer's block before coming up with an idea, getting it all put together, and finished before dinner. So panel 1 is just nothing, panel 2 is nothing, panel 3 is nothing, panel 4 is just me scrambling and filming and editing and putting up a video. Like
Is
all at
Kaus
once.
the Garfield of that comic, or is he the Odie?
I think he's the Garfield. He's just gonna be like having like sly comments like, "See, this is why you should plan in advance."
My goodness, what else can tell you?
Is
There's stuff that I pull out of nowhere. You're like, wait, where'd you get that comment? I don't know. My brain just
So
thought.
what's Wheels' role in this strip
He's
comic?
drawn.
Also Garfield.
Yeah, it's true. He's also. I have 2 Garfields in my life.
We're both Garfields. It's true. We're both.
I'm the neighbor behind the fence. You can't see.
There you go.
Oh, you like the Home Improvement neighbor? You only see the top half of his
Yeah,
face.
it just looks so
yeah,
peaks over.
If you know,
Yes.
if you know about if you just know about half the mixtapes that Jerry came up with me and Demon Wolf while we were at the convention this weekend, like it was. There's a pickle incident, a drive-by.
Oh my
Yeah.
I like you're making it sound like it's gonna be sort of a Harold Kumar movie adventure. Like
Yeah, no, it was. There was a drive, like right there. There was a drive-by.
Yes.
There was the mysterious back rooms incident.
Oh my
There was the
God,
elevator
that's
incident.
hilarious. We had to tell that
Yeah, we're
after
gonna
the
tell
stream,
that one on
Ryan.
Wednesday. Yeah.
On Wednesday, yeah.
you know those memes of like A plot it's like something serious, where a B plot it's something goofy. That sounds the A plot. You guys are the B plots.
Yeah.
We're the Yakuza sub stories. You know, the Yakuza
Yes.
main plot is serious, gritty crime drama, and then also the sub stories are just wacky JoJo like escapades.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Because I was just sitting with writer's block, and you guys were having like
The
stuff-
convention was just sub stories all day.
Oh, that's great.
There was the
Even with the
there was
music.
there was almost a
Yes.
fist fight with security. Like there's a lot of stories. There's
Couple
a lot of
times.
stories.
Oh my god. Well, more stories to come, and we'll be back next week for all the goodness.
You want to
of
check out
things.
Wednesday for sure.
Check out Wednesday because
Yeah,
yeah, sounds like the guys got
It's-
some stories for y'all.
And you essentially want to hear about the elevator story for Kels.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry's elevator story, and then me putting a hole through my pants.
Two elevator
leg.
stories. Think about it.
Yeah, there's 2. Oh, my favorite is Jerry, the sumo pause. All right, I'm good. Wait, never mind.
I don't know any of these stories, so you all be surprised as well on Wednesday's stream on Hero Club, and we'll see you all next week.